Hello beautiful souls and welcome to my channel Roseology. So this is a video that I've been wanting to do for a long time now where we look into the energy of your birth card pair. So everyone has a set of major arcana cards that rule over them, and we can determine which of these pairs rule you based on your birthday. All you need to know is the month, day, and year of when you were born, and we can get a really good look at your life's story, or like the theme song to your life almost. So if you already know your birth card pairs, you can scroll down to the description or the comment section for the timestamps to get straight to your reading. For those of you that want to know how to calculate your birth card, there is a link below where a site can easily calculate it for you. If you want to know how to manually do it, I will try to explain, but it may be a bit confusing. So like I said, you can just head down to that website link in the description section. But basically, all you do is you add your month, day, and year together. For instance, my birthday is May 18th, 1991. So this would be adding together the numbers 05 plus 18 plus 19 plus 91. That would equal 133. So I would reduce that number 133 by adding 13 to the number 3, and which would equal 16, which is the Tower card. And then I would reduce the number 16 to one digit. 1 plus 6 equals 7, which would be the Chariot card. And as you can see here, the Tower and the Chariot are birth card pairs. These are paired up together. Okay, so yeah, you can use this method. If the sum of your birthday is a 3-digit number, then you just add the first 2 digits to the last digit and then reduce from there. An example of a 2-digit sum of your birthday, let's say your birthday is October 24th, 2002, then you would add together the numbers 10 plus 24 plus 20 plus 02, which would equal 56, which equals 11. That would be the Justice card, and you would reduce the number 11 to 2. 1 plus 1 equals 2, and that would be the High Priestess. And as you can see right here, we have the High Priestess and the Justice card as birth card pairs. Now in the case that the sum of your birthday is 19, this is where you have an exception, because then you'll have 3 birth cards. Most people have 2, but if the sum of your birthday equals 19, you'll have 3 birth cards, because 19 is the Sun card down here, and 19, 1 plus 9 equals 10, which would be the Wheel of Fortune, and then the number 10 reduced, 1 plus 0 to get 1 would be the Magician card. So again, head to the link in the description for a quick calculation on this, because it can be a little bit confusing, okay, unless you already know how to do it. But yeah, the cards are already all paired up. So you have the Magician, the Wheel of Fortune. These are pairs right here. The High Priestess, Justice is a pair. Empress, Hanged Man is a pair. Death, Emperor is a pair. Hierophant, Temperance is a pair. The Lovers, the Devil is a pair. The Chariot, the Tower is a pair. Strength, the Star is a pair. The Hermit, the Moon is a pair. The Magician, the Sun, the Wheel of Fortune is a throuple. The Judgement and High Priestess is a pair, and the World and Empress as well are a pair. Now explaining what a birth card is, because very many people do not know that they have some sort of a birth card ruler from the Major Arcana of Tarot. So explaining exactly what a birth card is, why would we want to go through all of this to calculate our Major Arcana birth cards? This is because birth cards are kind of like looking up the lyrics to a song. Everything in your life is spelled out between these two energies. So these pairs act like magnets. You know how magnets will repel each other if they are not opposite sides. Opposite sides kind of attract them together. That's exactly what we're dealing with pairs. So when you're looking at these pairs, you're almost looking at the yin yang symbol, how we have the black and white symbol, right? I'll put a picture of it on the screen for you guys. So that's what you're looking at when you're looking at your birth card pair. You're looking at what is going to balance out these energies. Wheel of Fortune is balanced out by the Magician energy. The Justice energy is balanced out by the High Priestess. The Empress energy is balanced out by the Hanged Man. Death balanced out by the Emperor, so on and so forth. So basically, the universe is all about balance. Everything is operating towards a state of neutrality when we're dealing with the universe. Whatever made us, whether you call it God, the Creator, the Most High, the universe, source, spirit, the divine, whatever its name is to you, this being is a stabilized force of energy. In other words, this being is perfect, and perfection is a byproduct of equilibrium. So if we are all creations of this being, that means that we are children of symmetry. So there will always be a need for contrast and duality present within us and within our life and within everything around us. Love, for example, is not an exclusive emotion. It's a part of a spectrum where on the opposite end of that is hate. Hot and cold are not separate, but it is energy expressed in different degrees. Everything has a mirror reflection to it. So the mirror reflection to the Magician is the Wheel of Fortune, so on and so forth. And you guys know, if you've been following my channel for a while, I talk all the time. I have been for years. I talk all the time on my channel about how opposing signs in astrology, I don't like the fact that a lot of people see opposing signs in astrology as like, oh my God, like this is a horrible thing. Oppositions are terrible things. No, that is just our limited ass view of energy, basically. You know, opposing signs in astrology should not be seen as opposites or negatives, because in fact they are one and the same. Aries opposing sign is Libra, and that's not to say that they're nothing alike, but that's actually to say, hey, Aries is my mirror reflection to me being a Libra, or Pisces is a mirror reflection to me being a Virgo, or Sagittarius is a mirror reflection to me being a Gemini. For instance, I'm a Taurus, so my mirror reflection is Scorpio. And so, you know, there's a lot of similarities and a lot of differences, and these differences help to balance out these energies. This is kind of like looking at your contrast. Everything that exists has to have contrast. If it didn't, we wouldn't be able to tell that it exists. This is like light and dark. If it wasn't for dark, we wouldn't be able to see light. If it wasn't for light, we wouldn't be able to see darkness. So this is why so many of us as well struggle with fulfillment, peace, and stabilization, because we work so hard at identifying one way when we are multidimensional beings. We are duality. And today we are taking a look at your symmetry, at your duality, at your sort of magnetism. You know, what is it about your opposites that are attracted to each other, and how are you navigating these opposites, these opposing sides? Everyone has a spectrum that exists inside of them, basically. So these birth card pairings are spectrums of each other. The Magician is one side of the spectrum, the Wheel of Fortune is another side, High Priestess is one side of the spectrum, Justice is another side, so on and so forth. So everyone has a spectrum that exists inside of them, and throughout life we are walking back and forth between those polar ends of that spectrum of energy, and these polarities help to keep us grounded, centered, and balanced. It's kind of like gravitational force for our souls, so we don't tip too far to any one side. So taking an objective look at your own spectrum can give you a really priceless insight as to why life may play out the way that it does for you. So for example, if your birth cards are like mine, which are the Chariot and the Tower, if the Chariot and the Tower, for instance, just a little brief example, were your birth card pair, then your life's journey is about mastering the dance between establishing the ego with the Chariot card and revolutionizing the ego through the destruction of it with the Tower card here. So what spectrum are you dancing on? So that's what we're looking at today. We're looking at your energy reflected between opposing sides. I'll also be shuffling some oracle cards for you guys. For each pair that I have here, it's 12 pairs here. Yeah, I'll be shuffling some oracle cards, but I won't be diving into them because I had so many pairs to get through, but I will be pulling for some additional messages for anything it is that each pair needs to hear on today, since this is a message from your birth card. Okay, so another way that you can use this reading as well is to take a look at the card that rules your astrological sign. I'm a Taurus sun, so that means that I could look at the reading for the Hierophant over here and Temperance. You know, so like if you're a Libra, for instance, you could look at Justice in the High Priestess reading. If you're a Leo, you could look at the Strength in the Stars reading. I've left the Major Arcana cards and their ruling signs that they are connected to down below if you'd like to use the reading that way as well. So we'll be looking into these pairs of energies and why they pair or go together like magnets, with opposites attracting, and how this can manifest or spell out for your life. Let's go on ahead, get to the disclaimers. First things first that I do want to mention though, you guys, is that I am still not taking personal readings. I'm getting asked that quite a bit because the channel's growing so fast. But yeah, I'm not taking any personal readings at the moment. I will let you guys know when. And no, I do not have any social media, so I just wanted to throw that out there. But yeah, I've been working on some videos that will be rolling out this week. I had some stuff going on in my personal life, very hectic. I might be talking about it pretty soon. I'm not sure yet if I'm comfortable yet, but yeah. So anyways, let's just go on ahead and get to the disclaimers. That tarot, or at least my readings, are not meant to tell you anything that you do not know, as much as they are here to confirm the things that you do know but have forgotten. So if something doesn't resonate, then either that part of the message is not meant for you, or you might not be ready to hear it. Tarot is going to reveal truths about our energetic frequencies, and we have to be ready and willing to hear those truths in order for these messages to resonate. Okay, so take what resonates and leave the rest. You guys know that I'm not here to do the spiritual or, you know, heavy lifting when it comes to your awareness and accountability. That's why it's very important for you to be tapped into your own intuition and psychic awareness as I'm doing these readings. That the way you are also picking up your own intuitive messages. And 99% of you guys that come to my readings, you guys are always picking up intuitive messages and things like that. So you guys pretty much know how to do it. But this is kind of for those like 1% that just kind of come here and just want, you know, an answer. They don't want to do the work themselves. That's not this channel. I would advise that you actually click off, because you're not going to find that here. Okay. Now, for those of you, I am still going to do a meditation for this. So if you just wanted to do a meditation and pick a pile, you can if you want to. If you're just feeling drawn to a certain pair and you wanted to listen to that pile, then for sure you can definitely do that. So we will be doing the meditation. So for those of you that want to participate in this meditation, let me just say, like I always do, that this is a general reading for the collective. So in order for this reading to resonate with you, you need to be synced into the energy of this reading. To help you do that and to help you select a pile with your third eye, not your physical ones, I'll be offering a 60-second meditation. So if you're drawn to another pile besides your birth card pile, that's because there's another message for you in that particular pile. So if you're ready, get into a relaxed position, become aware of your entire body, starting with your feet, working that awareness up in sections from the feet to the head. Take a deep breath in through your nose for around 5 seconds. Hold that breath for 3 seconds. Then exhale for 6 to 7 seconds. Then ask your guides, the spirit, ancestors, the universe, or all of them to connect you to your higher self so you can receive the messages that you need to receive today. And we'll start that meditation right now. All right, hopefully that meditation was enough time for you to pick a pile, tap into your own psychic awareness. I want to take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, beautiful spirit, for these messages. Now let's check out your birth card pile, and I will meet you over at your reading. All right, and for my Wheel of Fortune and Magician carded people, we're just going to first be discussing what these cards mean if this is your birth card pairing, as well as I'm going to be drawing a few oracle cards. So for my people whose birth card pair is the Wheel of Fortune and the Magician, this is a paradox between deciding your fate, feeling in control of fate, versus fate deciding for you. Now, the Magician is ruled by Mercury, and in this card, we see a man holding a double-ended candle pointed up to the sky with one hand, and the other hand pointing towards the ground. So he's like this channel, this vessel for energy, basically, is what that statement is kind of saying here. And what is present here is all 4 elements that make up the tarot are present here. So we have the cups, wands, pentacles, and swords, to show that the Magician has everything he needs to create whatever he wants. The way humans started with nothing but the resources that Mother Earth provided, and we've created civilizations from that for thousands and thousands of years. So with the Magician card here, we learned control. We are introduced to the concept of creating our reality. Nothing is random. Everything is purposeful. This is all about intent. So there's a lot of comfort that we discover with the Magician through our willpower, not allowing our circumstances or lack of resources or any other variable to stop us from getting what we want, but instead learning how to work with our conditions. So we get crafty with the Magician card because of that fluid mercurial sort of energy. This is about the mind dreaming up a reality and then using the physical, tangible earth around them to create it. So on the opposite end of the spectrum, so imagine you have a spectrum here. On one end of your spectrum, we have the Magician card. On the opposite end, we have the Wheel of Fortune card. So on the opposite end of the spectrum, we have the Great Wheel of Fortune. So the Great Wheel of Fortune, the Wheel of Fortune card, is ruled by Jupiter. And this is where we go from feeling slightly invincible with the Magician card right here to Jesus take the wheel and the Wheel of Fortune card. So the Wheel of Fortune has a lot of strange symbolism on it, as you can tell. And this is to really press the fact. Let me get it to focus. This is to really press the fact, though, that we don't know why life works the way that it does. As you can see, there's like a angel here. There's a phoenix right here. We have a bull down here with wings, and then a lion over here with wings. And these 4 characters are representing the 4 fixed signs of the zodiac. So that would be Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus, and Leo. So basically, dealing with the Wheel of Fortune, A lot of strange symbolism, because this is saying that we do not know why life works the way that it does. Sometimes life seems to be going great, and other times not so much. The Wheel of Fortune card represents those random moments of life where we really don't know why things went the way that it did. So maybe we call them a coincidence or a synchronicity or a curse or a bad stroke of fate. Maybe we call it luck. Maybe we call it luck. Maybe we call it fortune. It's the magic of life that we don't understand when our fate or fortune shifts from one degree to the next, no matter what we do. For example, let's say after years of working your ass off, going to school, learning the business, learning the trade, you finally get the job that you've always wanted, and then boom, your relationship ends right after. And you may have made all these plans in your mind about how you and your partner are going to be living with this new money. The Magician is all about what we do. The Wheel is all about the actions and movements of another force. It has nothing to do with our actions usually. So the Magician is all about, I'm going to go to school because I really want that job. The Magician is everything it is that is in our control. The Wheel of Fortune is everything that is outside of our control. Okay, so this is just simply fate. The Wheel shows us that something greater than us is in control, and we are a part of that system or network of experiences, and we are not always in control. The Wheel is represented by, like I was saying, these mysterious creatures, because the wheel itself is ambiguous. We have no clue what is moving the wheel, what is pushing it. Sometimes things happen in life that we deem as bad or negative, and as we reflect, we realize some of those moments led us to the happiest times in our life. So the wheel also strips away the illusion of good being good and bad being bad, whereas the Magician has sort of a more limited view because he is motivated by one. He is motivated by whatever he deems as good, beneficial, effective, or necessary. So this is another reason why I've never seen Jupiter as good luck, me personally, but just simply an amplification of energy. So throughout life pile one, so let's just get some cards over here. So throughout life pile one, you've probably experienced the dance of feeling powerful, confident, and control of one area of your life while another seemed to maybe crash out of nowhere for absolutely no reason. You may have thought that you were cursed at some point or blessed by forces outside of your control, and at the same time you may have felt in harmony with those forces. You also have had or will have a close relationship to labels, and you'll phase back and forth between if labels are necessary or not. Okay, so let's go ahead and check out some of you guys' oracle cards here. See what we've got going on for my Wheel of Fortune Magician card people. So 2 cards fell out for you guys here. And so these basically are the cards of the 42 laws of Ma'at. It's basically how we keep our intentions pure, how we keep our heart light. And so the 2 cards that you got is I do the best that I can and I spread joy. So yeah, like I was talking about, I do the best that I can is definitely the Magician. It's definitely the Magician. And I spread joy can also be talking about the Magician. Actually, this may be kind of like reversed, where I do the best that I can is more so kind of like I work with what I got. I work with, you know, wherever it is that I'm at on the wheel at the time. And I spread joy can definitely be like the Magician card, where it's like, you know, I am a very capable being, and what I'm trying to create for others is actually in everybody's highest and greatest good. I'm not out here trying to hurt others. I'm not out here trying to do anything I shouldn't be doing. Let's see, let's get a card from your angels. Oh, we got 3. Okay, so we have victory, very first card that flipped over, I think, and this is Archangel Sandalphon. Your prayers have been heard and answered. Have faith. So this sounds like a specific message for you guys. If you have asked for something specific as I was shuffling, then that's what it kind of looks like this was coming out, maybe talking about or alluding to. Then we have here the card Peace, Archangel Chamuel. Peace comes from remembering that only love is real. And then we have Indigo and Crystal Children. So you may be an Indigo or Crystal child. Archangel Metatron, you have a bond with children. In particular, you can help children who are sensitive. Okay. So for some of you guys, your purpose may be centered around children, helping other people, maybe centered around actually even bringing awareness to people's true origins. Where does it they come from? You know, whether they are an indigo or a crystal child or something else like that. Let's see, your soul's journey card here. Let's flip for that. soul's journey that we have here is honesty. It says, I can't always expect the truth from others, but I can expect it from myself. Yeah, so this is just another card kind of talking a lot about how you're being that channel. The magician, like we talked about earlier, he's that channel where it's like he is a vessel for energy. And so when it comes to that, it's really important to be in alignment. It's really important to be transparent, because whatever it is that you are directing is what it is that you are creating in your environment. And then, wow, let's just get a card from let's just get a card from the Starseed Oracle. And we have here, Breath of the Cosmos, my will to thy will, micromanaging the universe. Again, this is a lot of that magician Wheel of Fortune energy, micromanaging the universe. Wow. All right, you guys, I'm sorry, there was a plane that passed. But yes, thank you guys very, very much for tuning in. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, amazing spirit, for these messages. Hopefully you all come back to visit sometime soon. But until next time, you guys stay safe, stay blessed, and keep conquering the world. Bye, guys. All right, for my Justice and High Priestess birth card pair people, that's such a weird title, but I don't know what else to call this. So yeah, for my Justice and High Priestess card people, welcome to your reading. So basically, first things first, I'm just going to be going over exactly what this means for you to have drawn this birth card pairing as your birth card, or for your soul to have drawn this pair of cards to be representing you and your energy, your frequency, your dance of life on this great spectrum that we talked about in the intro. So if you're wondering like what I'm talking about with the spectrum, I definitely do recommend going back and listening to the intro for this video. Otherwise, this reading may seem a little bit weird or hard to grasp. Okay, so yeah, moving on, let's just go on ahead and talk about what exactly this means if you have Justice and High Priestess as your birth card pairing. And then I'm going to pull some oracle cards for you guys. And the High Priestess, let's go over the High Priestess first. So the High Priestess is the number 2 card in the Major Arcana of Tarot. She's ruled by the moon, and it shows a feminine energy here that, like the moon, is evasive and clouded in mystery, doubt, and darkness. We are summoned by the High Priestess because, like the divine feminine, she never leaves her throne, but instead she attracts or beckons us towards her. And because the High Priestess sits between light and dark, life and death, yin and yang, known and unknown, seen and unseen, she knows all. She also represents the voice of wisdom. This is because she has chosen to sit in the in-between, as you can see here. She's related to the story of Persephone as well, who is kidnapped by Hades, lord of the underworld, and because of her stay in the land of the dead, as well as her life in the land of the living, she was said to have inherited the knowledge of both realms. Whatever her story, she knows all, and the keeper of all knowledge has mastered discernment and only reveals knowledge to those that genuinely search for it. She's the teacher that appears when the student is ready, but the High Priestess does not reveal anything to those whose hearts are seeking knowledge for their ego. She reveals to those that have traveled her same path, those that have traversed both life and death, those that have experienced creation and destruction, gain and loss. She is our subtle voice that we call intuition, and it's hard to know when our intuition is speaking because it's so quiet, and the ego presents a lot of counter arguments to our intuition. But that's what intuition, or the subconscious, or the High Priestess does. She sits on her throne. She does not chase you or beg you to believe in her. She offers a choice of faith. Take it or leave it. And she respects that choice because she walked the same path at one point, the path of a human life, the path of having to make a decision. So she understands that. And this is why she offers a choice. She does not sort of try to direct you one way or another. She kind of just presents these options and says, hey, do what you think is best, basically. So she's kind of like a test in a sense, the High Priestess. She's definitely a test of faith, a test of intuition. Now the Justice card over here is ruled by Libra, and Justice does not offer a choice the way that the High Priestess does, because justice, or karma, only appears after we have made a choice and then acted upon it. Justice is the Kemetic Neter, otherwise known as the Egyptian goddess Ma'at, and she is the concept of truth, justice, order, and balance. Justice is the price that we pay for listening or not listening to the voice of wisdom that we are introduced to in the High Priestess card. The voice of wisdom is here to divert us or keep us from getting lost, but because we have free will, much of this life's journey is about getting lost and course correction. Justice is that course correction that comes in and says, you're lost. Here I am to help you get back to a path of morality, consciousness, and accountability. Justice comes in as what's supposed to be sort of like a last resort. The universe or spirit wants us to use our free will to decide to support cosmic balance. But in case we don't, there is a contingency plan put in place to assure that no matter what we choose, divine order will under no circumstances be disturbed. So that's something that's very, very important to spirit and the universe. So pile 2, or for my Justice and High Priestess people, your dance in life has to do a lot with doing the right thing by choice or by force. And it doesn't mean that you are controlled. It simply means that you are like the big brother or big sister. So you're kind of like the older sibling to the other birth card pairs. When the older sibling screws up, isn't their punishment usually a little bit more harsh because they know better? You know, right? So like if you were the older kid, you probably got reprimanded a little bit more than your younger siblings, because it's like your parents kind of looked at you as like, you know better, we should be able to trust you more because you're more consciously aware, you're older, you know, you're supposed to be more mature. And so that's kind of what is happening with this birth card pairing right here, Justice and the High Priestess, is you have a more advanced level of understanding. And just like an older sibling would over their younger siblings, they have a more advanced understanding to know the difference between right and wrong. So much of your life story has to do with you having to have a very close relation or understanding of karma and how it works, or you are learning that. Especially in your close relationships will serve as reflectors of your choices. You'll have a front row seat to karma, basically. My pile 2s, my Justice High Priestess people, you know how real and alive karma is because you have seen it. You've seen it work for and against people, more than likely. If you haven't, keep living, because you're going to witness it one of these days, okay? So let's go ahead and flip a card. Let's go ahead and flip a card from the Starseed Oracle to see if we can get a message from your Starseed ancestors or family, from your higher self, for my Justice and High Priestess people. So we had 3 that turned over. So we have here We the Hathors. And it says, deep love, mother's milk, birth as a portal. Hathor was the mother goddess in ancient Kemet, otherwise known as ancient Egypt. The next card that we have here is Messenger. Give me a second, you guys. So it says in the Messenger card, serious energy bringing harmony and balance. And then we have Earth pulsing, pulse of mother, slow down, time and nature. So there's a lot of mother energy here, as well as too, Hathor may be a goddess that you're really connected to, or a Neter that you're really connected to. She is basically the goddess of Venus, and she's known as the cow goddess. So she's very highly connected to Taurus. You may have a lot of Taurus energy in your chart, a lot of second house energy in your chart. You may have some really impactful aspects to Venus in your birth chart, because we have Hathor here, as well as we have Sirius. Sirius was another very big deal to the ancient Cometians, aka ancient Egyptians. So for sure, yeah, we have a lot of mother sort of energy, feminine energy here in Earth pulsing. Let's go ahead and pull a card from the soul journey to see what your soul journey is on, why your soul chose this journey. See if we can get some clarity. Okay, the card that fell out is grief. It says, I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. All right, let me just get one more. I just want one more for some reason. And we have perseverance. I know that I can do whatever I set my mind to. Okay. So that's a lot to do with your soul's journey as well, is grief and perseverance, kind of like gaining, losing, as well as like pushing through either which way. You know, like pushing through. If I'm gaining, if I'm losing, I'm still going to persevere at the end of the day. Let's see. Ooh, message from your angel. That came out fast. It says patience. Archangel Jophiel, your dreams are blooming more rapidly than you realize. Still they need nurturing and patience. And it's crazy because we had those mother cards come out. A lot of mother, divine, feminine energy. And then let's just get 1 or 2 cards from this deck here. And this is the... These cards here are like the 42 Laws of Ma'at. And 42 Laws of Ma'at really keep us accountable, and it keeps our heart light. It keeps the scales balanced. So let's see what we have here. We have I Spread Joy, the first one that came out. And your final card, I Care for the Earth. And we have the Earth Pulsing card down here. So you guys have very close ties to the Earth, to Hathor. I'm convinced, to Hathor, to Earth, to ancient Kemet, ancient Egypt. You guys have very, very, very strong connections there. They're just, these themes just keep coming out. So yes, this is all that I'm saying for my Justice High Priestess people. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in. I do pray that these readings brought you guys love, support, clarity, and strength. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, amazing spirit, for these messages. Hope you all come back to visit sometime soon. But until next time, stay safe, stay blessed, and keep conquering the world. Bye, guys. All right, and for my Hanged Man Empress birth card pairing people, welcome to your reading. So the first things first, we're just going to go over the Hanged Man and the Empress card and what it means to have this as your birth card pairing, what this means for your life's frequency, your soul's frequency, basically. And then I'm going to be pulling some oracle cards, just get a little bit deeper of a message or a meaning to these cards here. So yeah, let's just go on ahead and get started. So the Empress here is ruled by Venus, the planet Venus, and the Empress is the queen of all queens in tarot. She also rules all of the threes in tarot. So if the High Priestess represents the crone in tarot, then the Empress would represent the maiden and the mother. So this is the divine feminine at her most attractive. The High Priestess attracts as well, but she's a bit scarier as she requires you to come to her alone. She's kind of like that scary movie where it's like they get that scary random ass phone call, like, meet me down the block at so-and-so and don't tell anyone else, like, come alone and don't bring your phone, you know. It's like that kind of creepy. It's kind of how the High Priestess is. But the Empress, on the other hand, she is the ultimate state of comfort, pleasure, satisfaction, and fulfillment. Everything she wants and needs comes to her because, again, she is the divine feminine. She does not chase, she attracts and she draws in. She's chemistry. So this makes her fertile and the card of creation. Also, as well as, it's because she is the number 3. 3 is the number of magic, basically. It's two elements coming together to produce some sort of third entity. So she's the vessel that gives and receives life. The ancient Cometians, ancient Egyptians, otherwise known as, they actually used to say when a woman would get pregnant that not that she would conceive a child, but that she actually received a child, interestingly enough. So it's kind of what the Empress is like. She's kind of like this receptacle for life and creation. And so basically, you know, she's all about nourishment in order to give and sustain life. So she is the energy of abundance and creativity, but personified through this expression of femininity. She's also wearing a crown adorned with 12 stars to show her ability to harmonize with cosmic frequencies. So for sure, you may have a very strong connection to astrology, being that this is your birth card pairing. Let's wait for this plane to pass. So at the opposite end of the spectrum, if we had the Empress on all the way on the right end of your spectrum, then all the way to the left end of your spectrum, we would have the Hanged Man. Now the Hanged Man introduces this Empress energy of excess, comfort, and harmony to self-restraint, loss, discomfort, and friction. The Hanged Man has been ordered to die by hanging because he refuses to surrender his beliefs to the ways of the new world that is changing and evolving. So justice comes in and orders the death of the Hanged Man because justice wants to make way for new life and minds that are much more malleable, adaptable, and compliant. The Hanged Man's stubbornness is his downfall, and so he suffers the discomfort of a slow public death. So your dance in this life has been to understand the value of comfort and discomfort. You may struggle with feeling too flexible. You may have felt like a people pleaser at some point in your life, or you have struggled at times with holding on too tightly to a mindset, belief, or way of life, even when those ways were not serving you. So your sweet spot of balance is in between understanding elasticity and how to not give in too much to the point to where you are exhausted or feeling taken advantage of, but also not being rigid enough that you miss out on creating new experiences and developing new ways of understanding. So let's go ahead and flip you guys' oracle cards here just to see. So this is the soul journey oracle. So we're just going to see what it is that your soul has to say about this journey that it is on, being that the Hanged Man and the Empress are your birth card pair. So we have here first card, purpose. I know what I'm here to do. That's very, very interesting. It's all about knowing. This energy, the hangman, is all about knowing. Then we have here gratitude. I am thankful for this life and the opportunities that it presents. Okay. Let's get another card over here. From the Starseed Oracle. Just see if we can hear. You guys, I'm sorry. I did not know that my camera stopped recording. Okay, so it says here, the very first card that we have 5 of these cards jump out. The very first one, I'm sorry, defenselessness, riding past wrongs, and uprooting. This card here feels really powerful. Then we have here portal, and it says doors are opening, you decide, rewards, wild card. Wow. Then we have star ancestors. So look at them coming through, and it says hidden secrets, lost wisdom, look a little deeper. Okay. Forge, do not follow. Pave a new path, be the leader that you wish you had. That's so funny with this hangman energy here too. And then we have star family. Again, you're part of a team of souls, call and support. So your star family, your star ancestors were really, really, really heavily coming through here. Like they really wanted to be acknowledged. They're like, hey, we're here. We got a few things to say. But there is definitely a lot of deep messages coming through for these. I can't spend too much time on these because I'm doing 12 different readings with this entire reading here. But yeah, you know, I think the oracle cards are saying enough. So these cards here are represent the 42 laws of Ma'at. And so this is basically how we balance our own scales, how we keep our light, how we keep our heart as light as a feather, basically. So let's see what 2 cards. Okay. So we have here, I benefit with gratitude. And don't we, yeah, we pull the card of gratitude over here. Very interesting. I benefit with gratitude. And I praise the goddess and the god. Look at that. I love this card. It's all about balance, light and dark. That's beautiful. Which is really interesting because the hangman, again, he's such rigid energy that it's like, it's really funny that these oracle cards are coming out basically challenging his stubbornness, challenging his rigidity. Like, listen, we don't have to just believe in one thing. And let's get a card here from your angels. The very first one that we have is outdoors. Archangel Jophiel. Go outside, get some fresh air, and connect with nature to relieve stress and gain new creative ideas. So you guys may definitely be creatives, especially with this Empress card over here. You guys may definitely be creatives. And if so, if you're experiencing some sort of blocks right now, get outdoors. And then we have here, beloved one. Archangel Chamuel, I am helping you with your spiritual soulmate relationship. Anyways, yeah, it says, I am helping you with your spiritual soulmate relationship. So for those of you that are single, or for those of you that are in a relationship and maybe things are a little bit difficult, challenging right now, your angels are really helping you through this. Your angels, your archangels, I wanted to say. So for sure, you guys have a lot of support when it comes to your love life, if you were wondering about that. And then we have here chakra clearing. Archangel Metatron, call upon me to clear and open your chakras using sacred geometric shapes. So sigils, any sort of symbols that you have that mean something very strongly to you, use those, sleep with them under your pillow, something like that, if you need some sort of cleansing or protective energy. Okay, so this is all that I'm saying for my Hanged Man Empress people. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, amazing spirit, for these messages. Hopefully you all come back to visit sometime soon. But until next time, stay safe, stay blessed, and keep conquering the world. Bye guys. All right, and for my Death and Emperor card people, thank you guys so very much for tuning in. So basically, first things first, we're just basically going to be talking about what it means if this is your birth card pairing to begin with, the Death and the Emperor card, what this means for your energy, your frequency, your life's path, because basically, like I talked about in the intro, if you did not listen to the intro, I highly recommend that you guys go back, listen to the intro. That way you have a really good understanding of what exactly this reading is. Otherwise, it may be a little bit confusing. But basically, if you if the Death and Emperor are your birth cards, then basically we are dealing with the spectrum here, right? Where on one side of the spectrum, we have the Emperor energy, and on the opposite end of this spectrum, we have the Death card energy, okay? So we're going to be talking about exactly what that means to be dancing in between these energies for your life path, as well as I'm going to be pulling some oracle cards, a few oracle cards for you guys. We'll talk about the Emperor card first. Yeah, let's just go over him first. So the Emperor card is the card that is ruled by Aries, and he is the number 4 card in the Major Arcana of Tarot. He's also the king of all kings in tarot. He's also the highest ranking 4 card in tarot, in all of tarot. So the Emperor is a quintessential father figure of tarot, the one that gives orders to the lost, naive, young, and reckless. He is the energy of stability. So if the Empress creates life, someone needs to direct that life until it is able to sustain itself and lead itself. This is where the Emperor comes in at. He provides a blueprint or a map to life, which otherwise can seem overwhelming if we don't have any sort of directions or instructions, like having too many options on a menu in a sense. You know, you ever been in one of those restaurants and it's just like they have so many different like options on the menu and it's just like a little overwhelming? You know, the Emperor is kind of like that waiter that comes over and provides suggestions on maybe what you should try. So the Emperor, he kind of does that in life. He provides suggestions, rules on how to set up your life, routines, schedules, habits, and it's the repetitive habits that become patterns. Those patterns become beliefs, and those beliefs become our character, and that becomes our reality. It forms our reality. So the Emperor really shapes or forms us into his ideal version of who we should be according to his rules. And we can easily turn bias under the government of the Emperor, especially if his rules works for us or has gotten us this far. Bias is developed out of a fear of the unknown, and the Emperor almost acts as a savior from the big bad unknown. And this works for a time until the curiosity in us craves more. So the goal is for us to become our very own Emperor, the one who makes a set of rules exclusive to us that works for us. Now, Death over here is ruled by Pluto. And the Death card, my favorite card in tarot, it's so pretty. But the Death card is all about detaching. It's all about detaching what we know. No one knows what lies beyond life, right? Many have had near death or out of body experiences or have certain theories and beliefs, but we won't find the security of truly knowing without a doubt, with certainty, what comes after life. The comfort that the Emperor provides us with knowing and rules is stripped when death becomes our next vehicle or carrier or master. And we're forced beyond our will to enter into the realm of the unknown. So it's kind of like this authority sort of shifts from the Emperor to death, and death becomes our new Emperor in a sense, once we cross over from life into the next realm. It's an odd thing to tangle with death, being that death is so certain, but it's also so mysterious. It's like, how can something so certain and promised be so unknown? So your spectrum, my Death and Emperor card people, your spectrum exists on the frequency of security. It's all about security for you. There will be moments in life where you think you have everything figured out, planned out in specific detail, and then unseen forces sort of swoop in to challenge what you know. There will be many times where you feel kicked out of the nest or kicked out of your comfort zone. And exploring unknown territory may feel or seem threatening to you, but it's all about expanding beyond the rules of what you know or what's been working for you. You're learning adaptability and flexibility in this life, or you are learning more security and consistency in this life. So the sweet spot of balance for you is improvisation, being able to adapt to the times. Evolution will be a major focus throughout your life as well. So let's go ahead and check out some of you guys' oracle cards here. So this deck right here is kind of representing the 42 laws of Ma'at, and Ma'at is the Egyptian goddess of, or she's the Egyptian concept of truth, balance, and order. So, you know, it's all about keeping our hearts as light as a feather and balancing our own scales out the way we're not throwing cosmic order off. So let's see what your law of Ma'at is. Oh, we have 2 cards that came out. Or is it 3? Yeah, we have 2. Okay, so we have I do good. So staying aware of what it is that you're doing, like we kind of talked about. And then we have here, I relate in peace. It's very interesting. And this is also the Egyptian symbol for Imhotep, which means peace. So yeah, there's like a lot about peace and wanting to do good, trying to do good, using your life as using your life is almost like an act of service to do good for yourself and for others. Let's go on ahead and see your soul journey. Get a message about your soul journey. We have purpose. I know what I am here to do. Let's get one more. And then we have here acceptance. I am learning to accept the things that I cannot change. Sounds a lot like that Emperor stubborn energy. Kind of letting go of what you know or what you think you know. All right, let's get a message from your starseed family, your star ancestors. Very first one that we have is the void. And it says, stop, embrace winter, great cosmic womb. Wow. Okay. And then let's get a message from your angels. Okay. So we have 3 cards that came out, messages from your angels. The very first one that we have, relationship harmony. And it says, Archangel Ragel, I think I'm saying his name right. We angels are opening the hearts of everyone involved. Arguments and conflicts are being resolved now. Wow. Okay, so if there has been anything going on in your relationships, then for sure your angels are hip to it, and they're like, listen, we're working on our end to kind of smooth things out over here. Then we have life review, Archangel Jeremiel, and it says, take inventory of your life and resolve to change or heal anything that is unbalanced. Wow. And then we have teaching and learning, Archangel Zadkiel, keep an open mind and learn new ideas, then teach these ideas to others. Wow. Okay, so I can't spend too long on these cards because I got 12 different birth card pairs to go through, but basically, yeah, so these oracle cards here are basically you guys' oracle cards. Oracle cards are really kind of straight to the point. They mean what they say. You know, so you don't really have to divine these too much, but yeah, for sure, these are your messages from your star family, from your angels, from your higher self, from your soul. So yeah, this is all that I'm seeing for my Death Emperor card, birth card people. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, amazing spirit, for these messages. Hope you all come back to visit sometime soon, but until next time, stay safe, stay blessed, and keep conquering the world. Bye guys. All right, for my Temperance and Hierophant birth card pair people, welcome to your reading. So basically what we're going to be doing first is just talking about what it means to have this pair as your birth card, Temperance and the Hierophant. So we're going to be going over the details of both of these energies, of both of these cards. Basically, if you did not listen to the intro of this video, I highly recommend that you go back and listen to it. That the way you kind of understand what this reading is about. But basically, in so many words, we're working with a spectrum here, okay? Like I said, I go into depth explaining more about exactly what the spectrum is in the intro, but basically we're working on a spectrum here. So if on one end of your spectrum you have the Hierophant, then on the opposite end of your spectrum you have Temperance energy, and your life is sort of dancing in between these polarities, these contrasting energies and frequencies. So basically we're going to be talking about what that dance would look like, why your soul would choose something like this journey, this theme, for this energy to be the theme of your life. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started, and then I'll be flipping some oracle cards, not necessarily divining the oracle cards, but I will be flipping the oracle cards after, just so that the way you guys can get a little bit deeper of a message, maybe more of a specific message as to what you need to hear right now. Okay, so I guess we'll start with, let's just start with the Temperance card. So basically Temperance, this is the card that is ruled by Sagittarius, and is card number 14 in the Major Arcana. And so here we see an angel, or a highly advanced being, able to levitate and is magically pouring water into one cup and then another. So Temperance has a similar theme to that of the Magician card, but they're like a lot more evolved. And Temperance is about unequivocal freedom, being that its potential is not limited by what resources it has, like in the Magician. The Magician is sort of limited by just the resources that he has available to him. Temperance is not dependent on any tool or supply. It has transcended, requiring needing and wanting anything. So this is the level of, I don't need or want anything. I'm just existing in my own potential. So this is why Temperance represents alchemy in its purest form. It's all about reaching into the depths of your own potential and evolving life around you for the better, but not from a place or space of lacking and wanting. Temperance is able to transmute and create whatever it can think of because of its journey. This being has been through so much. It's learned, loved, lost, and everything in between, to the point that it's seen enough of life to have acquired a certain level of skill that you cannot get without having surviving the element of death, which comes right before temperance, or the card of death, which comes right before temperance. So this being who started out as a creation becomes the creator when we're dealing with the temperance card. This is why it's all about alchemy. And alchemy is not necessarily turning one element into gold or something like that. Alchemy is actually about it's all about the advancement of consciousness. It's going from being dormant or ignorant or asleep to consciously aware. So that is exactly what alchemy is when we're talking about it in spiritual terms. It's not about, like I said, turning one element from like silver into gold and making money off of it. Alchemy has everything to do with internal sort of transformation. So temperance started out as a creation and ends up becoming a creator. So this is a master architect, and it's another way of personifying a human's full potential. When we drop the fear and attachments and conditioning that we've been subjected to, we surpass our own limitations and do what is considered impossible. But this means going your own way, following your own path or blueprint, as you can see this pathway in the back of temperance leading to paradise. Temperance has sought its own understanding, and because of that, temperance does not tell others what to believe. It leads them to the source material and allows them to develop their own understanding as well, because our potential lies within us. So it's a lot different from, like, you know, when you go to some sort of like a religious church or something like that, and they're kind of preaching at you, kind of telling you what to believe in. Temperance is more so of like, here's the book, you know, here's the source material, here's the stuff that everyone's learning from. You develop your own interpretation. You translate it in your own way where it makes sense to you. Temperance is not about controlling you, because if somebody has to tell you what to believe in, you're not going to reach your own potential. You're going to reach their potential. So there's a very important sort of difference here when we're dealing with temperance versus the Hierophant. Now moving on to the Hierophant, which is ruled by Taurus and is the 5th card in tarot, and it is it rules all the 5s in tarot as well. The Hierophant does. The number 5 is that of friction when we're dealing with tarot. Every 5 shows some sort of battle or defining moment that changes everything, and this is because it represents the point of no return. Once you pass the number 5, you're more than halfway there to the point of culmination, represented by the number 10. So 5 defines us in a sense. It shows us who we are and what we are made of. The Hierophant rules all the 5s in tarot, like I was saying, but this is the most peaceful looking 5 that we have in all of the tarot. And this is because the Hierophant tests you differently versus the 5 of Pentacles, which tests you through material insufficiency, or the 5 of Wands, which tests you through challenges and disorder, or the 5 of Swords, which tests your resolve, or the 5 of Cups, which tests your ability to disconnect and disengage. The Hierophant is referred to as the Pope of Tarot, and this figure in the card is seen teaching or advising to recruits or apprentices, initiates, scholars, whatever you want to see these two people as. This Pope figure is telling them how to believe, what to believe, because that's what the Pope is to human beings, to the world. It's this divinely ordained being that has a close connection to God, apparently. So when it comes to us earthly humans who are lost and without direction, and this other human being, which seems to be favored by this higher power, comes along, many of us are quick to place this individual on a pedestal and to listen to them and believe them with blind faith, because this Pope figure is no longer human to us, but has become the mouthpiece for God. So this is the danger in elevating humans to such a degree, is the fact that we forget that they are essentially human, and we allow another human being to decide for us how we should live our lives versus following and creating our own path, like we talked about in temperance. So temperance, in my opinion, is way more evolved than this Pope figure in tarot, and not because it has people believing in him and listening to him, but simply because he walked his own path and has tapped into its own potential versus being told what to do. And the Hierophant is not domineering, it's not negative, he's not controlling. It's all dependent upon the mentees down here. This Pope figure is God in the flesh, basically, so to speak. But if these initiates forget that this is also a human with flaws and challenges and shortcomings of his own, they secure their own fate by attaching it to this person, to this Pope figure. And that's a lot of trust to put into anyone. The Hierophant is not bad, but if this Pope figure is at some point compromised or decides to start abusing his power, what will happen to these students? Versus the Temperance, who never jeopardizes its morals or purity, because Temperance walked its own path, followed its own heart, listened to its own intuition. So the dance here for my Temperance Hierophant people Is balancing your own path with that of the path that has been laid before you. Many people with this birth card pair may have been born into a very strict family or environment. You may have felt like a yes person, a people pleaser at some point, or you may have felt ostracized by friends and family because of how individualistic you are. You don't want to go all in and only consult yourself, but you want to try to find a nice symmetry between your own inner voice and feelings versus that of a person that you can trust. But be very careful with the people that you believe in and listen to. That's a major lesson for my Temperance Hierophant people. It's easy for you guys to get almost scammed or led astray. Like you may have brushed shoulders with a cult, even some of you guys may have, or some sort of organization with very, very rigid beliefs, very strict beliefs, because my Temperance Hierophant people have such a strong need to believe in something. And there's nothing wrong with that. Just make sure that who and what you believe in is good, transparent, and healthy for you. Many of you even may eventually break away from organizations, churches, associations to do your own thing. This is very sort of South Node Aquarius, North Node Leo energy here, because once you learn what you need to learn from this Pope figure, and this Pope figure can come in the guise of friends, family, a lover, coworker, celebrities, anyone. It can come in the guise of anyone. It does not have to be a Pope that's like in Italy. Like it can literally be anybody that we place on a pedestal. That's what the Hierophant is. It's whoever it is that we have elevated in our own minds. So basically, once you've learned all you need to from this individual, you may feel the push to move on and find your own way, trusting in you more than anyone else, appointing yourself as the governor of your own life while learning from everything and everyone around you is going to be your sweet spot of balance. Okay, so let's go on ahead and pull some oracle cards here. Like I said, I won't be divining the oracle cards. I'm just going to be flipping them just to see what we get for you. So these are the 42 cards, or 42 laws of Ma'at in oracle card form. So let's see what laws you get here. And the laws of Ma'at, it just keeps our heart pure. It keeps it light as a feather, that the way we're not weighed down by making certain actions, choices, and decisions that aren't good for us. So let's see what you get. Just shuffle these because they're kind of sticking together. Okay, should be a little bit better. Very first one that fell out is I speak with sincerity. Okay. And the next card that fell out is I benefit with gratitude. And it's funny how I speak with sincerity sounds, it reminds me a lot of the Hierophant right here. And then I benefit with gratitude reminds me a lot of the Temperance card. So let's go ahead and pull some soul journey cards here just to hear from your soul. Very first card that fell out, surrender. I can release my need to control. Very interesting that you have that. Oh, let me zoom out. That you have that surrender card here, and we have Temperance and the Hierophant as your birth card pairing, which has a lot to do with surrendering. And then we have pride. I love myself and I see myself in everyone. Interesting pairing. Let's pull some cards to hear from your star ancestors, your star family. So think about a question if you'd like as I'm shuffling. Let's see what comes out. We have a new earth. It's happening. Keep holding the vision. Okay, and we have 3 cards that fell out here. So very first one that we have, lost land, soul, memories, and gifts. You've done this before. Wow. Wow. Makes a lot of sense with this Hierophant card here. It's very, very classic traditional energy. Then we have your life as a canvas, artist, manifestation, creative accountability. Okay. And then surrender to the sweetness, Venus energy, pleasure, joy, make love to life. And then we have the surrender card over here that we also pulled. So there's a lot of surrendering here that you guys may be dealing with right now. And then I'm going to pull one more card as some advice from your angels. Okay. Oh, wow. Did you guys see that? I'm actually going to read all these because it feels right. Okay. It just feels right. Okay, so the very first one that we have, indigo and crystal children, Archangel Metatron. You have a bond with children in particular. You can help children who are sensitive. All right. Then we have gentleness, Archangel Sandalphon. Be very gentle with yourself at this time. Surround yourself with gentle people, situations, and environments. Then we have angel therapy. Wow. Archangel Raphael, give your cares and worries to us angels and allow us to take your burdens. Your angels had a lot to say for my Temperance Hierophant people. I mean, one of your birth cards is the Hierophant, literally the voice of God. So it kind of makes sense. All these cards came out. Then we have outdoors. Archangel Jophiel, go outside, get some fresh air, and connect with nature to relieve stress and gain new creative ideas. Then we have all is well, Archangel Jeremiel. Everything is happening exactly as it is supposed to with hidden blessings. You will soon understand. And then we have clairaudience. Look at that. And it says, Archangel Zadkiel, notice the loving guidance you hear inside your mind or from other people. Okay, so this is all that I'm saying for my Temperance Hierophant people. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in. I want to take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, amazing spirit, for these messages. Hopefully you all come back to visit sometime soon. But until next time, stay safe, stay blessed, and keep conquering the world. Bye, guys. And so for my Devil and Lovers card birth pair people, welcome to your reading. So basically we're going to be starting off this reading with just going over the energies of this pair of tarot cards here, why this would be your birth card pairing, what this means for you, what this means for your theme of life. So basically, if you did not listen to the intro of this video, I highly recommend that. That way you know exactly how this reading is working, because what I'm working with here is the spectrum, and this is just something that I've kind of come up with. It makes sense in my brain, but basically, yeah. So if you're kind of confused as to what the spectrum is, then definitely go back and listen to that intro. But basically, this Lover's energy was at one end of your spectrum, then the polar opposite of that spectrum would be the Devil card energy. And basically, we're just kind of taking a look as to how both of these contrasting sides, how it's affecting your life, and how you are dancing between both of these polarizing sides of energy and frequencies in your life, what this looks like for you, how this manifests for you. And then I'm going to be flipping some oracle cards that I will not be divining. I'm just basically going to be flipping some cards. So we'll start off with the Devil card here. So the Devil card is the card that is ruled by Capricorn and is the 15th card in the Major Arcana. So the reason that the Devil is ruled by Capricorn is because of Capricorn's capriciousness, meaning unpredictable, random, erratic, or fickle energy, kind of like a goat who is the mascot of Capricorn. Goats are very flighty creatures, jumping from one tiny ass rock to the next one in order to climb up a whole mountain. And this is even why the Devil has been linked to goats for centuries and centuries. And this is because of the Devil's attachment to the material realm. The Devil wants to indulge in everything uninterrupted. It wants to experiment and experience everything that the physical world or 3D realm has to offer. So the Devil energy is very flighty, moving from one vice to another, or from one lover to another, or from one desire or want or fantasy to another. This is also why the Devil card in tarot is shown with a couple. And this is the same couple from the Lovers card, as you can see down here. But they are in chains in the Devil card because they are slaves. They have become slaves to this 3D realm like the Devil. The Devil is trapped just like them. Everyone is on the same equal level or playing field, or being burdened or imprisoned by their wants and lack of self-control. And it's funny how so many people think that control is a cage, but the lack of discipline can also confine you or chain you to volatility. Like the saying, the more things change, the more they stay the same. Freedom is not separate of restriction or captivity. This is to show that no matter what, something is always in control, and that something can be us or it can be something else. And so here in the Lovers card, the Lovers card is ruled by Gemini in tarot, and it's card number 6, the number of magic in a sense. And the Lovers, they also have another being overseeing them in this card, but this time instead of the Devil, it's an angel. So like I was saying, no matter what, there's always something in control. It's just a matter of deciding who and what that is. But the Lovers card used to be called choices. And this is because the Lovers represents what this whole reading is about, like I've been talking about, which is the spectrum. It doesn't necessarily talk about two people coming together in love, even though it can allude to that. The essence of this card is all about a choice, because male and female are not separate entities. They are both living beings embodying or expressing humanity, but in different ways. Either they're expressing it in a masculinity sort of form, or it's more of a feminine sort of form of expression. Male and female are human beings representing two polar opposite sides of the spectrum. On one end, you have the female. On the other end, you have the male, and an infinite number of possibilities exist in between them. So how you choose to express yourself can be found on this range or scale of options and choices. And this is why the card was originally called Choice. And Gemini is represented as what? The twins. And this is why Geminis have a reputation for being polarizing, because they have many different forms of expression, which I see as a very good thing, especially being doubly fixed. I'm Taurus Sun, Leo Moon. So I really like mutable energy, just because it's like, it teaches me how to let go and things like that. But you know, I don't know why the world is so committed to trying to fit into some sort of a box or a prison, but Gemini is naturally, and all my mutable signs are, very naturally fluid in expression, especially my Geminis. So my Devil Lovers card people have had close encounters with many different aspects or sides of the self. You may not like to conform to gender roles even, or different societal expectations, especially in your younger years. You may have even went against the grain simply because no one else was doing it. One thing to watch out for though is your vices, being that they have a bit more of an impact on my Devil Lovers card people. Your vices are essentially a part of your identity, so it's important to remain aware of that. Your journey in life will be centered around the question, who are you? What do you want to be? Who do you want to be? And you may feel as though you have to choose. Others may make you feel as though you have to choose. But all you have to choose is yourself each and every time, and allow that to be expressed in whatever way feels most natural to you. Whether that means from Monday to Tuesday, your entire personality changes, and so be it. You're also on a journey to recognition. Very important for you to keep your eyes open, to stay aware at all times, because it's quite easy for my Lovers card, Devil card people to get manipulated because of your love for material things. Or maybe it's a relationship, you know? Maybe it's your love of relationships, being in a relationship, being with someone. It's easy for the things that you love to be turned into weapons to be used against you if you don't stay aware of everything you partake in, and of everything it is that you want and desire. So it's really important to have some form of self-control here. So that's really going to be your sweet spot of balance, is all about discipline and self-control. It's okay to indulge, and it's okay to be completely out of control. But it's all about moderation for my Devil Lovers card people. It's all about moderation, kind of partaking in having discipline, having self-control, and partaking in indulging every now and again. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull some oracle cards here. Like I said, I won't be divining them. So these are your soul journey cards. So let's hear from your higher self, from your soul, as to why this journey. Okay, so 3 cards came out here. And you guys can also, as I'm shuffling, you can also think of a question if you'd like to, and see if maybe you get a card that answers it. So the very first card that we have here is guilt. I release any beliefs that no longer assist in my soul's growth. Exactly. The Devil card can bring a lot of guilt because people don't want to admit what it is that they truly want. And that's why a lot of us, when we indulge in things in the dark, or we do things that, you know, we call it like a guilty pleasure. So it's like pleasure, I hate the fact that pleasure, I'm a Taurus, but I do hate the fact that pleasure has been attached to guilt and shame, because it's like, pleasure is meant to be enjoyed. It's meant to be shared. It's meant to be loved. It's meant to be indulged in. And it's like so many people have attached guilt to it because of, you know, maybe the fact that they feel like they shouldn't want the things that they do. But this is really all about, you know, your soul's really coming through and saying, hey, we got to shed this guilt. We have to, you know, really embrace what it is that we want. And it's okay to do that, even if others don't agree with it. You know, if they don't agree with it, fuck them. Next card that we have here is trust. I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. See? Yeah, you guys are kind of struggling a little bit here with like some guilt, and I can't dive in too deep to these cards. Like I said, I'm not divining them. I can't dive in too deep because I have like 12 different pairs to go through. And then we have relationships. You guys see that? It says, I'm attracted to those people who serve my higher good. That's funny. There may be some sort of guilt or trust issues around your relationships. You guys will know for sure what these cards are alluding to. The next cards I'm going to be shuffling are from basically centered around the 42 laws of Ma'at. And Ma'at is an Egyptian goddess who was all about law, order, justice, truth, and balance. And so following her laws, you know, it was very important back in the day to follow Ma'at's laws in order to keep your heart light as a feather and to balance your own scales. So let's see what we have here. How can you balance your own scales? Very first one that we have, I embrace the all. See, embrace all of who you are. My Devil card, Lovers card, people, embrace all. Embrace what you want, embrace what you are. And it says, I give blessings. Okay. All right, let's get some, let's shuffle from this deck right here to hear from your soul family, your soul ancestors, your star family, your star ancestors. You can think of a question as I'm shuffling to see if you get an answer. Two cards came out. Okay, so we have lifting the veil, questioning everything, anything unaligned must go. I don't know why, but this feels really, really intense. I don't know what it is about it. I can't sit with this for too long, but it feels really intense. I didn't even know this card was in the deck. I've never seen it before. Then we have the Season Mintaka saying potential, bringing unconsciousness to light. Exactly. Again, unconsciousness is your shadow. You're bringing the shadow to light. What is it that you truly want? You don't have to experience your pleasures in the dark. Bring your shadow to light. What is it that, let me see what's under the deck. Cracked open, rock bottom, surrender to the alchemy of life. Yeah. Okay. And then let's get a card from your angels here. See what your angels have to say. Look at that. Even the angels are like, it's a passion. You're passionate about this. Stop holding yourself back. It says, Archangel Haniel, trust and follow your renewed passion in your love life and career. And we have the relationships card. So this could definitely be talking about some sort of a relationship, something like that. And then we have remember who you are. Archangel Michael, you are a powerful, loving, and creative child of God. You are very loved. And then let's see, underneath the deck, we have patience. Archangel Jophiel, your dreams are blooming more rapidly than you realize. Still, they need nurturing and patience. Okay, so for my Devil card, Lovers card, birth pair people, I don't know what to call this, but yeah, for you guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in. This is all that I'm seeing. I pray this reading brought you guys love, support, clarity, and strength. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, amazing spirit, for these messages. Hopefully you all come back to visit sometime soon, but until next time, stay safe, stay blessed, and keep conquering the world. Bye guys. All right, for my Tower Chariot birth card pair people, welcome to your reading. So I'm interested to dive into this one because this is actually my personal birth card pair. But yeah, so basically how we're going to start off this reading is we're just going to be talking about what this means for you personally, if this is your birth card pairing. So if you did not listen to the intro of this video, I highly recommend it. That the way you know exactly how this reading is working, because I'm using something that I'm referring to as like the spectrum. This isn't a thing. This is just something that I kind of came up with because it makes sense in my head. But basically, if you're like, spectrum, what are you talking about? Definitely go back and listen to that intro. So basically what I'm talking about with the spectrum is if we have the Chariot energy on one side, then we have on the polar opposite side the Tower energy. And so basically we're looking into today exactly what it means for you personally, how you're sort of phasing back and forth between the Chariot energy and the Tower energy. And then I'm going to be pulling some oracle cards. I will not be divining them necessarily. We'll talk about the Tower card first. So yeah. And so starting off with the Tower is ruled by Mars, and Mars is the god of war, tolerance, ambition, drive, purpose. By the time that we get to the Tower, we've gone through 16 other major arcana cards or 16 other major life experiences. And because of that, this Tower has been stacked quite high, as you can see. And each brick that makes up this Tower is like a major experience, lesson, or moment that we've been through or have survived. And so the Tower is out of nowhere, it's just suddenly attacked and struck by lightning, and a violent destruction takes place. And this lightning actually represents cosmic intervention, divine intervention, just kind of because lightning is so random that whatever it hits, it seems random to us, but it is deliberate to the cosmos. And the crown on the Tower, as you can see, this crown here is the first thing to fall. The crown represents our crown, which is our consciousness, our skull, our head, in other words, our ego. So this is the way that we identify and have been identifying for the last 16 cards. This is the card of the death of the ego, and is one of the most feared cards in tarot, but that's only if you limit its energy. So the Tower is an act of kindness, in fact. It is cosmic intervention that I talked about earlier that says it's time for you to be free of these last 16 defining moments and experiences in your life, because you can no longer grow past them. You can no longer see around them. You have become them and they have become you. You cannot build this tower any higher because it is faulty. These cracks are weak points, or maybe the tower is too damn rigid. All skyscrapers are made with a little elasticity, right? Which is why you can feel them swaying or moving the higher up you go. Because if you build a tall building to be too rigid, you're risking its structural integrity. Like a tree with its roots that dig deep into the soil of the earth, that the way the tree can grow as tall as it needs or wants to. The tower is not as whole and cohesive as it appears on the outside, though, which is why this one little lightning bolt is enough to destroy it entirely. The tower hurts bad. It hurts like hell. So if you are somebody with the Tower and the Chariot, born with this birth card pairing, you've experienced some pretty painful things. Like painful, like things that may have been like heartbreaking, like maybe it was emotionally distressful or emotionally upsetting, but you feel it physically. So you feel a lot of your emotional, mental pains physically. You can feel them in every way. The Tower hurts. It hurts our ego. It wounds our pride. It challenges our identity, and it strips us away from everything that we thought we knew. It is forceful, and it usually happens without warning. But the Tower is not designed to destroy all of us, only parts of us. It's created to strip us of everything except for our essence. It's like being born all over again, where everything you were programmed, conditioned, and trained to be or believe in is wiped away. And here you are, vulnerable to the world all over again, just like birth. When a baby is born, we can't necessarily ask a baby like, hey, did it hurt as you were coming out of the birth canal? It's very painful for the mother. We know that. As well as for the child, it may just be very like, you're really disturbing me here. And the Tower is just like that. It's like another birth. And that is why we go through this death of the ego. It's like a death and a rebirth happening all simultaneously at once. And so it's extremely intense and extremely painful at times. And the Chariot, on the other hand, is a card that is ruled by Cancer. And this is not the card that I would think of, when it came to any sort of card in tarot representing Cancer. But this is why we have to get away from labeling and generalizing energy, though. People will have you thinking that Cancer is just emotional, sensitive, and a crybaby, just crying all the damn time. But Cancer is the ruler of the 4th house, and that is the house of security, ancestry, where you come from. In other words, it is the house of your roots, the same roots that we talked about with this Tower card, like how I was talking about with the tree that has its roots dug into the ground, that the way it can grow as tall as it needs to. When the Tower comes crashing down, all that's left of you is your essence, who you were born as. In other words, your roots are all that's left. If a lightning bolt struck a tree and the tree burned up, the roots would still be in the ground more than likely. So the Chariot represents our willpower, our might, our strength, basically. Every time I look at this card, I see momentum, force, drive, the same way we may see Ganesh or Sekhmet energy. I love Sekhmet. But yeah, the same way that we may see like Sekhmet energy, these great forces or powers of energy that clear pathways. And also it is 222 right now. Just need to say that. Just think about for a second, what makes a tidal wave or a tsunami so destructive? Like, is it the water? Yeah, but not necessarily. The other thing that makes the tidal waves so extremely destructive is the force that comes with that water. It's the force that is pushing or carrying that water. Tsunamis can travel as fast as a plane, over 500 miles per hour. You can't survive anything running into you at 500 miles per hour. That is velocity, pressure, speed, force, all coming at you. That is the Chariot. The Chariot is force. He is force that is coming at you. And because he is ruled by Cancer, a water sign, he's like a tsunami when he sets his sights on something. He comes through as a tidal wave, clearing the path that will lead him to what he wants. The same force that destroys the Tower is inside the lungs and wheels of the Chariot. The same force that propels him to his goals is the same force that shatters everything he built on shaky ground in the Tower. This is why force has to have some sort of integrity, because without it, it is susceptible to outside forces. And the Chariot is vulnerable when he doesn't have a plan, direction, or purpose when he cannot choose or decide what he wants. Energy needs a purpose or direction to be effective. Without that direction, it's just untapped potential, basically. Energy wants to be exploited by us. It does. I know it sounds weird, but energy wants to be exploited. It wants to be given a purpose. I say all the time, energy knows what to do. It just needs direction. Your intentions, your prayers, your manifestations are you directing energy, just like the Chariot. The Chariot is the director of all of that force, though. He's not just directing energy, he's directing force. The Magician directs energy. The Chariot directs force, power, strength, and might. The dance of balance for my Chariot Tower people is to trust in energy. Do not see energy as just bad just because it's destroying something that you wanted. Energy never obliterates anything that is meant for us or that is good for us. It clears our path of anything that is in the way. Even if it's us, then we're going to be wiped away by these powerful waves of change because you are a conductor of force. So when tower moments happen, do not see that force as something that is conspiring against you. See it as your ally. Your ally is purpose. And whatever is washed away, it is because it has served its purpose. Your dance of balance is in trusting the things outside of your control. You may have created or built many things in life that you have had to watch be taken down forcibly. These weren't just material things either, but these were relationships, people, experiences, places, projects that you believed in, that you had attached your identity to. Everything has a purpose, and once that purpose is served, we must let it go. Nothing is ours forever. So your biggest lesson is trusting in the destruction and not allowing it to make you forget your power. Not allowing it to make you feel less powerful. The Chariot never feels less powerful. Even if tower moments are happening all around him, the tower is not afraid of falling, even if there's all these chariots around it. Destruction is not afraid of destruction, and force is not afraid of force. They're both the same thing. So see that destruction as an extension of your own power. For instance, if you were to ask for like a big house, that might mean that you are going to be forced to leave your job because there's a better one coming along. But you wouldn't have taken that new job opportunity if you wouldn't have been forced to leave the old one. And that new job, it pays way more. It puts you in the same area that your new house is in. It really opens up doors. It clears pathways for you. That destruction of being let go of your job or being fired open up this new path where you're getting paid better and you're living in the house of your dreams. So my Tower Chariot people are the architects of your own success and of your own destruction, and all of it has been for your highest and greatest good. It's all been working out for you in your favor. It's just about being able to pick yourself back up from that tower and reconnecting to your power. Don't forget your power, because you will have many experiences that appear to be more powerful than you, that appear to be stronger than you, because they're trying to make you forget. That may be what they seem like. It may seem like, man, that person said something really mean to me because they don't want me to feel good. It's not that these things are happening to you to break you down. In fact, they're trying to push you deeper into your power, deeper into your might. So that breakup may have felt painful, deliberate, cruel, but it wasn't happening to hurt you, but to strengthen you. Okay, so let's get to your oracle cards. Let's see. Very first one, soul journey. And you guys can think of a question if you'd like as I'm shuffling, and the cards that jump out, it may answer your question. So let's see, we have here Judgment. I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. Exactly. Everything has its own unique path and challenges. Everything has, let me zoom out. Everything has a purpose. Everything. Let's see, let's get another one. Then we have here pride. I love myself and I see myself in everyone. Yeah, pride though. We got to be careful with that pride. Tower Chariot people, we can be very prideful, and pride comes before the fall. That's why we see that crown there. Let me just get one more from this deck. I don't know why, but I just feel like one more. Yeah. And then we have trust. I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. Trust in what happens. Trust in the creation. Trust in the destruction. It's all happening for you. These cards here are the 42 laws of Ma'at, and the laws of Ma'at basically were followed to keep your heart light as a feather, to balance your own scales. So let's see what laws are corresponding with your birth card pair. Definitely too many cards. So let's see what cards we get. Okay. And so we have, I praise the goddess and the god. Ooh, look at that. I praise life and death. You see that? How we have the white and the black right there? And then we have, I converse with awareness. So this sounds like, to me, speaking with intention, speaking with power. Okay, let's get a card on your soul family, your star family, your star ancestors. You can ask a question if you want as I'm shuffling. And so it says, Earth School, very first one, life lessons, soul growth, study, higher learning. Yeah. Yep. And then we have here, weight of the world, boundaries, let it go. It is not yours to carry. That's funny because we, like I said, Chariot is ruled by Cancer, and Cancer can carry a lot of other people's energies. And then we have here, weight. It's not yet time. Things are being woven. So things are still coming together. Whatever it was that you asked about, things are still coming together. Don't worry about it. And then we have star ancestors, hidden secrets, lost wisdom. Look a little deeper. Okay. And then let's see, final card from your angels. Let's see. Oh, wow. Okay, so we have here clairsentience, and this is Archangel Raguel. I think I'm saying that right. Notice your recurring physical and emotional feelings as they signify divine guidance. And then we have here peace, Archangel Chamuel. Peace comes from remembering that only love is real. Okay. And then let me just look underneath the deck because I kind of felt like there might have been one more card for you guys. And we have life review. Take inventory of your life and resolve to change or heal anything that is unbalanced. All right, so for my star strength birth card pair people, welcome to your reading. So basically, we're just going to start off by talking about what this means to have these two cards as your birth card pairs. I don't know. Yeah, I guess that's what we'll call it. So basically, if you did not listen to the intro of the video, I highly recommend going back and listening to it because I explain in great detail exactly how this reading is working. That the way you're not kind of like, wait, what are we talking about here? What's going on here? So yeah, basically, I'm working with the spectrum. And so what we're looking at today is if strength rules one energy, one side of your spectrum, then on the opposite side of the strength energy would be the star energy. And we're going to be looking into today exactly how your soul has been navigating this dance between these two polarizing, contrasting energies in your life, okay? And then afterwards, I'm going to be shuffling a few oracle cards. I will not be divining these oracle cards. I'm just basically going to be getting a little bit of a deeper message, maybe even a more specific message for you guys. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So the very first one that we're going to be talking about is the star. And so the star card right here, star is one of my favorite cards in tarot besides the death card, but the star is ruled by Aquarius. And it's so funny because when I first started my channel, I used to always talk about how the star card reminded me so much of Aquarius's energy. And then I ended up finding out way later on that Aquarius actually rules this card, which was really, it was a pretty cool synchronicity. But yeah, Aquarius rules a star because the star comes directly after the Tower card, which is the most destructive card in tarot and one of the most feared. Aquarius comes directly after Capricorn, who is the most destructive sign, in astrology, being ruled by Saturn, the god of discipline, challenges, fears, karma, destruction. By the time we get to Aquarius energy, we are exhausted from the challenges that Capricorn brought us. We are bruised, we're wounded, and probably a little traumatized in some ways. And this is because Saturn and Capricorn deconstructs you from the inside out, from the bones or skeleton to the flesh. So the star has had to rebuild after this major tower moment, and she's left naked because she lost everything in the fall. The only thing that she still has is her life, is air in her lungs. The tower comes to strip everything away from you because it's trying to extract your essence, your nucleus, your heart, your soul that was trapped inside of that tower. Your essence couldn't fully express itself because it was sort of caged in by this building, by this tower. So when it crashes, all that's left is you. The star is asked to pull from her internal and external power, and that's why she's kneeling in these puddles here, as you can see. She's sort of like kneeling in these puddles to show her connection to the cosmos or the spirit realm, which represents her hope for a brighter day. And she's kneeling in this pool of water. She's also kind of near this pool of water right here that is splits into 5 streams. And these 5 streams represent the 5 senses. In other words, this is her external power or physical strength and determination that she also has to tap into. So there's a mix of faith and willpower with the star here, which is an extremely powerful mix of will that can do anything as long as you put your mind to it and decide what you want. So this is faith and willpower coming together. And when faith and willpower come together, it equals hope. And so that's exactly why the star represents the energy of hope. And the strength card here. So the strength card is ruled by Leo. And here in this card, we see the physical challenge of managing that internal versus external strength that I was just talking about in the star card. Here we see another woman, and she is abating or domesticating, at least trying to. She's trying to domesticate this lion. And the thing is, though, the strength card wants to categorize these aspects. So she attempts to domesticate the lion so he can fit in with society and humans. And the lion wants her to be more primitive or indigenous or savage like. So you have this battle of wills here going on between the woman and the lion. And so it's kind of like who's right and who's wrong. Like, are you trying to fit like a square into a circle? You know, it's like something isn't working here. And so the answer more so lies in the circumstance. It's important not to unmake the lion or the woman because they are both needed in order to live a full life. Sometimes you need the civility of the woman, and other times you need the strength and ferociousness of the lion. There's an innocence to the woman in the strength card. She's very virgin-like or pure. And again, in the star card, we are dealing with someone that has been forcibly reconnected to their essence or purity. But by the time that we get to the star card, where we've seen destruction, death, unbridled chaos, we have a different outlook on the lion within us. And in the stars, she taps into both her primitive lion for strength and her natural innocence for faith, because it's going to take both faith and strength for her to build another tower all over again, especially after seeing how cataclysmic it is when one of those towers falls. She's going to need strength and faith to surpass the memory of that catastrophe and to be able to fully move on, which she understands is imperative, because if she builds a new tower with the fear, while still holding on to the fear of what happened with the last tower, what's going to end up happening to the new tower? She's just going to rebuild that old tower, and she'll subject herself all over again to another tower moment. So there has to be a clean slate established here. So for my star strength card people, your dance in life is learning how to leave the past in the past entirely, learning how to let it go so you don't have to relive it. The regal lion in you wants justice and heads to roll for the things that you've been through. But the innocence in you says it's time to let it go so we can give ourselves a chance to live free of the past. Combine your ferocity to your conviction and optimism. Aim your lion at your past and allow it to tear you away entirely. Otherwise, the tower moment didn't do its job, and it will have to happen again and again and again, or you'll have to relive it again and again and again until you are ready to move forward. As well as another big lesson for you is not seeing vulnerability as weakness, not seeing emotions as a fault or a blemish, not seeing faith as illogical either, but being able to combine these elements: confidence, logic, vulnerability. Don't depend on one or the other, because both are here for you. So it's a matter of trusting. You may have more faith than logic or logic than faith, but the sweet spot of balance for you is being able to trust in both. Okay, so let's go ahead and shuffle some of you guys as oracle cards here. Like I said, I'm not really going to be divining these. I'm just going to be sort of diving in a little bit deeper into this energy just to see what we get. So you can think of a question if you want as I'm shuffling, and the cards that jump out, they may answer some questions or anything it is that may be going on in your life right now. So okay, let's hear from your higher self, from your soul. Let's see what your higher self, your soul has to say. Very first one that we have, surrender. I can release my need to control. And this card keeps coming out too. Oh, let me zoom this out. Then we have blame. It says, I accept responsibility for my well-being. It's funny because it's interesting when we were just talking about the strength card and even the star card. It's like there's like this element of like, I don't want things. And then underneath the deck, we have grief. I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. But yeah, it's interesting because it's like with the blame card here, you know, many times we want to blame something or someone for the tower moments in life. You know, we don't just want to kind of let that just, it's hard to just let that go because it's such a painful experience. So yeah, there's like a bit of blame, surrender, and grief here as well. And that makes a lot of sense with the Star card and the Strength card. And even the Strength card is kind of like, I want to sort of tame my lion. I want to tame parts of myself, because you may blame parts of yourself for getting you into trouble. Like, it's like, damn, if I would have had more control over my lion, maybe I wouldn't have said that to them. Maybe we wouldn't have gotten in that argument. It's like, no, maybe it's a good thing that you open up your mouth and you said something. So it's like, you're kind of learning not to blame. But like I said, I'm not supposed to be divining these messages, but anyways, so these cards here represent the 42 laws of Ma'at, and Ma'at is the Egyptian goddess of truth and justice. And so it's all about, you know, the Egyptians believed in following the laws of Ma'at to keep your heart light and airy and not too weighed down. So the very first law that we have from her is, I relate in peace. I relate in peace, not through force. And then we have, I remain in balance with my emotions, like we were talking about with the Star card. How she is balanced between her internal, external powers, between her physical powers and her more so internal faith and willpower. And let's see, let's get a card from your Soul Star family, from your Soul Star ancestors. You can think of a question if you'd like. We have, yeah, 2 cards come out. So we have Star Keeper. It says, cosmic ancestor, see the light by staying grounded. And then we have Inner Earth. You'll survive this, new solutions and beginnings. Wow. Beautiful. And then underneath the deck, we have Star Bathing, light body, crystal grid, transmission, activation. Okay, and then let's get a card from your angels just to see what they have to say. Oh, wow. All right. And so they said here, we have the card Passion. Archangel Haniel, trust and follow your renewed passion in your love life and career. And then we have Claircognizance. Archangel Uriel, pay attention to thoughts and ideas that come to you. They are answered prayers. Wow. And underneath the deck, we have, you know what to do. Archangel Uriel, trust your inner knowledge and act upon it without delay. Okay, so for my Star Strength people is actually 1234 right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just wanted to say that. That may be a number for you, may be significant. But for my Star and Strength people, this is it for your reading. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, amazing spirit, for these messages. Hopefully you all come back to visit sometime soon. But until next time, stay safe, stay blessed, and keep conquering the world. Bye, guys. Okay, so my Hermit and Moon card, birth card, pair people. I don't know what to call this, but welcome to your reading. So basically, first things first, we're just going to be talking about exactly what this means to have the Hermit and the Moon as your birth card pairing. So if you did not listen to the intro of this video, I highly recommend it. That the way you know exactly how this reading is working, because basically we're doing is I'm using something called a spectrum. It's just kind of something that I came up with. So if you're kind of confused as to like what the hell is a spectrum, check out the intro. So basically everybody's operating on a spectrum. If the Hermit and the Moon is your birth card pair, then that means that the Moon is one end of your spectrum and the Hermit is the polar opposite end of that spectrum. And basically what we're looking at today with your birth card pairing is how you navigate between these two contrasting, polarizing energies in your life, how these energies manifest in your life, things like that. Basically like the overall theme of your life. And then I'm also going to be shuffling some oracle cards for you guys, but I will not be divining them. I'm just going to be pulling them for some deeper messages as to your birth card energy. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. We'll start off with the Moon. Yeah, we'll start with this card. So the Moon here, as you guys can see, so the Moon card is ruled by Pisces, and this is the 18th card in the Major Arcana of the Tarot. And the fact that the Moon is ruled by Pisces makes all the sense in the world, because Pisces is a portal to another realm or world. It transports you outside of your current reality, and this is why Pisces can be very intoxicating. And if not careful, it can become an addiction or a vice or a need to escape all the time. The Moon card has that same essence to it. It's wild, free, and dark, which makes this card confusing, and anything unclear to humans is usually scary or it's seen as threatening. The Moon card is not meant to be understood rather than experienced. It's all about accepting the wildness that comes with the night. The night introduces a whole new world. There's different animals that come out during the nighttime that we don't see throughout the day. There's an element of surprise and caution because our sight is inhibited. Everything that we cannot make out clearly has to be assumed when we're dealing with the Moon card. So if you're standing in a dark room and something like grazes you and you don't have a light, your mind is going to sift through all the possibilities of what that could have been, and you're forced to kind of fill the blanks in because there's no way to be sure. There's no light. So the Moon card strips our assurance, it strips our poise, it strips our guarantee, our composure, and the certainty away from us. It turns us wild, just like the nighttime and the creatures of the night. So the saying, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. When in the night, do as the night does. When we're dealing with the Moon card here, the creatures of the night have a certain comfort and understanding with the unknown, with the wild and the unseen, and with the darkness. So the moon brings a lot of illusions, and it represents our subconscious and superconscious. So this deals with the dream state and the dimensions that we simply don't understand. But like I said, it's not meant to be understood, it's meant to be experienced. And when we're dealing with the Hermit card here, the Hermit is ruled by Virgo and is another card that is shrouded in darkness, mystery, and ambiguity. But the Hermit seeks to understand the unknown. He wants to see the unseen, so he immerses himself in the realm of darkness. All he takes with him is a tiny little lantern, and he goes alone. And he does this because he doesn't want his experience to be influenced by anything, not even his doubts and anxieties, which is why he has this light with him, so he can make out that sound or that feeling or that image. He doesn't want to fill in the blanks or make assumptions, but he desires to know. So the Hermit goes away as a means to seek his own understanding and validation. So he's alone, unable to call someone up and be like, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? The Hermit is us at our most isolated stage, and it's not always about physical seclusion. Like many times in life, we experience moments where we're surrounded by others but feel so alone or misunderstood or closed off or lonely, like we're insulated in our own thoughts, feelings, and journey. So even when you have people around you that you can call and ask what they think of this and that, when you're having a true Hermit experience, those people won't be able to relate to you, and you won't be able to relate to them. It's like everyone's speaking another language and just can't seem to get each other. And this is because the Hermit wants you to come to your very own understanding alone and untainted. That's why the Hermit is ruled by Virgo, the Virgin in astrology. This is about purity, and you cannot come to a virtuous or moral conclusion if someone else has interjected their thoughts, feelings, and opinions. The Hermit is relying on unpolluted thoughts, ideals, and understandings. So the theme to your life for my Hermit Moon people is all about, and by the way, it's 333 right now. The theme to your life for my Hermit and Moon people is all about shadow work, embracing the darkness within you, the shadow within you. And when I say darkness or shadow, I'm never talking about evil. Darkness, destruction, chaos, death, none of these things are evil. These things are just as pure and innocent as the light. It serves the same purpose as the light, which is cosmic balance. That's why we have yin yang, black and white, life and death. Darkness is where everything was created. We wouldn't know light if it wasn't for darkness. It's something to contrasted. So you will be asked to develop an unadulterated relationship to your light and to your dark sides, yin yang, masculine, feminine, give and take, both aspects, both sides of you, and to not try to define everything that you see, but to allow the experience to happen and allow it to say what it needs to say to you. Don't pollute the experiences that you have in life by trying to define them. Let them define themselves. Let them be free, because they are trying to awaken the freedom in you that wants to be wild and free, just like the night, but also understood, just like the Hermit. So that's where your kind of like spot of balance is here. Okay, so let's go ahead and shuffle some oracle cards here. So these oracle cards are based off of the 42 laws of Ma'at, and Ma'at is a Egyptian concept. She's the Egyptian goddess concept of truth, balance, and justice, harmony. So basically, let's see what laws she has for my Moon Hermit people. And basically, the Egyptians used to follow the laws of Ma'at to keep their hearts pure and light as a feather. Okay, so that is a couple cards. So we have here It says, I hold purity in high esteem, exactly like we were talking about with your hermit. The hermit is like the virgin. It's exactly, let me zoom out. It's exactly what I was talking about. And then we have here, I keep the waters pure. Again with the purity, like I was talking about with the hermit. He's the virgin, or he's ruled by Virgo, and Virgo is the virgin in astrology. So there is a sense of purity to him. There's a sense of innocence to the hermit, and that is why he is seen only carrying the lantern here. Let's go on ahead and pull some cards here for your soul's journey. I want to hear from your higher self, from your soul, what it has to say about this energy here. You can ask a question as well as I'm shuffling, and the cards that pop out, they may answer your question. So we have here love. I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. First one to come out. It's interesting that it says, I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things, just like in the moon, how I was talking about you can't necessarily see things. And so it's like you have to kind of practice, in a sense, what it is that you're seeing. Then we have here guilt. And it says, I release any beliefs that no longer assist in my soul's growth. Yeah. Very hermit-like. And then we have trust. I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. Very moon-like. Okay, let's hear from your soul star family or soul star ancestors. Again, you can think of a question if you'd like. Very first card that we have here is trust the timing. It says, trust the wave you came in on. Time is not running out. I didn't even know this card was in the deck. It's kind of funny. But yeah, we got that one. Let me get one more. And then we have baby steps, action, follow your intuition before it makes sense. Again, the moon card talks a lot about intuitive guidance. And then we have surrender to the sweetness, Venus energy, pleasure, joy, make love to life. And yeah, the hermit, he could use some of that energy because he can be very serious. Very, very serious energy. So let's see. And then final card here, we're going to shuffle to hear from your ancestors. Oh, wow. Look at this, was in the deck. Pride. I love myself and I see myself in everyone. Interesting. We're just going to set that out as though it's a part of your reading because it was just in this deck, which it wasn't supposed to have been. But yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and hear from your angels. Final card, final messages. We have prosperity. Look at that. Archangel Ariel, your material needs are provided as you follow your intuition and manifest your dreams into reality. Again, it's all about following intuition. The hermit wants to know, but all your cards that keep popping out is like, follow your intuition, follow your intuition. And then we have sensitivity. Archangel Haniel. I don't know if I'm saying that right. But it says you are extra sensitive to energies and emotions right now. Honor yourself and your feelings. Okay, so this is all that I am seeing from my Hermit Moon people. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in. I want to take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, amazing spirit for these messages. Hopefully you all come back to visit sometime soon. But until next time, stay safe, stay blessed, and keep conquering the world. Bye, guys. All right, so for my Sun, Wheel of Fortune, and Magician card people, welcome to your reading. So basically what we're going to be talking about is first things first, we're just going to be diving into what this means to have the Sun, Wheel of Fortune, and Magician card as your birth card energies. So yeah, if you did not listen to the intro of this video, I definitely recommend going back and listening to the intro. That the way you know and understand how it is that I'm doing these readings. Basically, I'm using this spectrum that I kind of came up with. If you're like, what the hell is a spectrum? Definitely check out that intro. But yeah, so we're going to be looking into your spectrum. And so, you know, if the Sun rules one part of your spectrum, then on the polar opposite end, we'll have the Magician and the Wheel of Fortune somewhere in the middle. And so we're just going to be looking into today how it is that your soul has been navigating these energies, being that this is your own spectrum, your own personal frequency, your own personal spectrum in this particular incarnation. And then later on, I'm going to be also shuffling some oracle cards over here just to get a little bit deeper of a message from your soul about your birth card energy. I will not be divining the oracle cards. I'm just going to be pulling some cards just for some deeper messages, some more specific messages. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get started talking about exactly what these cards mean. So we'll start off with the sun here. So the sun is ruled by the sun and is the number 19 in the Major Arcana Tarot. It is actually 444 right now, let me just say. But yeah, the sun is depicted on the Rider-Waite-Smith deck as a baby on a white horse, as you can see. And this card comes directly after the moon card, where darkness has taken over, and not in a bad or an evil way, but it is a cycle of life and time. Darkness has its benefits. It puts us to sleep so we can rest, heal, and regenerate our energy for the next coming day. And it gives a break from the daylight and the rays of the sun, which need to be proportionately rationed in order for life to be able to sustain itself. Too much sunlight can actually kill, can actually be poisonous, you know, can actually hurt us. So yeah, it can be toxic in a sense. Too much sun, too much darkness can be toxic. It's all about balance. So the sun card represents daybreak, when the sun reemerges. I also see the sun card here as a Commission, aka Egyptian, otherwise known as the ancient Egyptian 5 stages of the sun. So you have Kefir, which is known as the driller, the scarab beetle, which is this like daybreak when the sun first comes out. Then you have Ra, the stubborn. This is like early afternoon. You have the wise, mid-afternoon, Aten, the wiser, late afternoon, and Amun, the hidden, when the sun is beginning to set. So, you know, the sun card would be Kefir, the first stage of the sun, the driller stage, when the sunlight, consciousness, and clarity reemerge after a phase of darkness or Amun, and being forced to rely solely on intuition. Now, with the sun back out, we can clearly see and feel more in our element. The sun is a concentrated source of fire, right? And fire is the essence of all things, like the spirit, you know. So in church, especially if you grew up in like Black churches like myself, you more than know about the Holy Ghost, the Holy Spirit. You probably heard about it. People catching the Holy Ghost, you probably seen that in church. Like I said, if you grew up in like a Black church, something like that, you probably actually seen it. You know, people catching the Holy Ghost and being moved by this invisible force of energy that invokes or wakes something up within them. And if you've never seen it before, it is, you know, when the spirit sort of is traveling around the church, you can actually feel something moving from person to person to person, and it's like it initiates something in you. And, you know, people have very wide range of reactions to this energy, basically. And the sun is much like that energy, like that holy energy. It's this invisible force that gives life to everything that it touches. It makes flowers sprout from the earth, and it gives the earth warmth. She creates with the sun. It's like a collaboration in a sense. So the baby on horseback represents a state of full-on gratitude and appreciation that everything we need to live and survive is provided for. The card is a portal, basically, that represents us aligning with complete and total cosmic abundance and being able to feel that vitality and happiness and life that comes from this source of fire or power or life. So this is the card of life, illumination, awareness, clarity, truth. Think about it. The opposite of life is death. The opposite of light is darkness. The opposite of illumination is dormancy. The opposite of awareness is ignorance. The opposite of clarity is confusion. All these things the lighter sun provides us. Life provides us with all of these things. And when we align with these things that are living like ourselves, it's this moment of abundance where we feel more alive than ever and stimulated and aware than ever before, because we are tapping to a living energy, like we are a living energy. So it's just like being on a whole foods diet and filling your body up with foods that are living. Don't you feel more like you have more energy? Don't you feel like you're in a better mood? It's because you are filling yourself up, you're nourishing yourself with something that is also within you, that you're also made up of. It's like when we drink a lot of water, the body is made up of water. The body gets a lot of nourishment from that. So the sun is like this extra dose of nourishment, because the sun is that life force energy that already lives within us. So when we are met with this powerful, potent source of life force energy, it's like, whoa, I can feel that. That is a lot of nourishment for me. Moving on here to the Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune is another very strange card with these weird beings surrounding it. So we have a Sphinx sitting at the top of the wheel with an angel right here, a phoenix, a bull, and a lion governing all the corners of this card, and a snake and a devil-looking figure spinning the actual wheel. And there's all these weird symbolisms on the wheel that no one can really understand. And the 4 beings on this card are representations of the 4 fixed signs of the zodiac. So we have Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus, and Leo on this card. And the reason that the Wheel of Fortune, the card of unpredictability, is governed by the 4 fixed signs is to press the saying, or to press the fact that the more things change, the more that they stay the same. We are constantly in a state of evolving, transforming, shifting, and adjusting, but there are forces acting outside of our control as well. And this is the great mysterious wheel that no one knows for sure what is moving it or pushing it or controlling it and why. No one knows the reason, purpose, or point of existence. This is where God and the universe come into play, and we blame a lot of the unknown on these mysterious beings. So the wheel represents strange occurrences that happen outside of our control. For instance, let's say you are an influencer or something like that with maybe like a few hundred followers. Then all of a sudden one morning you wake up to over like 30,000 extra followers because a post of yours goes viral. Maybe you win the lottery. Maybe that other person pulls out of the project because of some personal family issues and you end up becoming the new lead. But the wheel is a 360 degrees, meaning it doesn't just move in one direction, which is why I never see the Wheel of Fortune card as just simply good luck. I see it as things moving along in either one direction or another. And you don't know which direction that is because the wheel turns. Because as the wheel turns, you may move from being on top of the wheel to being on the bottom of it. If you take a basketball and you put a sticker on it and you start rotating the ball, the sticker is going to change positions, but as you keep rotating it, the sticker will reappear back where it started. And that's the beauty of the circle and circumference, is that we never stay in one position forever. Things are constantly moving. So this is the energy of, hey, things are moving, they're progressing, they're evolving along. And then the Magician card here is a card that is ruled by Mercury and is the first card in the Major Arcana of Tarot. So the Magician is the card of control meeting willpower. It's all about, I don't have something that I want or need, so I will bring it into fruition through my efforts and available resources. Again, like we talked about in the Sun card, same as in the Magician card, the Magician has everything he needs to create whatever he wants. That's why the 4 elements are present here. We have the earth, which is represented as the pentacles. We have the element of air, which is represented as the swords, the element of fire represented as the wands, and the element of water represented through the cups. So everything that exists on earth came from these 4 elements, showcasing a variety of different options. The only thing that is limiting us is our belief or imagination. If we can see it in our mind, we can actually create it. So with the Sun, wheel, and the Magician card here, the theme of your life is in noticing your surroundings and capitalizing off of what is around you, not being discouraged by your circumstances or lack thereof, but recognizing where the lack is and then locating your own willpower through the Magician. Also tapping into your faith through the Wheel of Fortune and aligning with the cosmic plan for your life, which is expressed through the Sun card. For my Wheel, Sun, and Magician card people, it's all about not waiting for things to be handed to you, but creating opportunities through your mind and imagination, then having enough gall and faith to pursue those ideas. Because you are a part of the wheel, there's a dance for you to surrender to the things that you don't understand and to use the things that you do understand. So illumination coming through the Sun is not about control. It is about alignment. So much of your life will be about aligning, finding the things that are truly meant for you, and then having the courage to embrace them. And you'll notice how you won't take control of the wheel. We can never take control of the wheel, but you'll create a more trustful relationship between you and this mysterious force. You won't feel so like out of sorts. You won't feel so discombobulated. You'll have more peace when you accept the fact that right now I'm here, but it's not permanent. Eventually things are going to start moving, and boom, I'm going to end up somewhere else. Things are always shifting and changing. So don't lose the goal or the dream just because of what things look like. Hold on to it because the wheel is always moving and you are always provided with what you need to get through anything in life. As well as another big part of your journey is all about definition, defining what life is, because the Wheel of Fortune strips away the definitions of good and bad. It strips away those labels, I should say. Like I was talking about, somebody may actually just randomly win the lottery. That could be a sense of like, oh wow, my luck just turned around. I just won $30,000 or something like that. But then that $30,000 could end up being a huge headache. It could end up causing like a divorce or something like that. So the Wheel of Fortune says like, hey, what you think is good might not be the best thing, and what you think is horrible might be the best thing that's ever happened to you. So the Wheel of Fortune really does strip away, us needing to put labels on things and say, well, maybe this is a good thing, maybe this is a bad thing. So for you as well, this is really all about sort of defining your own life and not allowing your life to be defined by experiences and things like that. So let's go on ahead and shuffle some cards here. Let me see. Let me do these ones first. So let's go on ahead and take a look at your soul journey. Hear from your soul, your higher self. You can think of a question if you'd like to as well. As I'm shuffling, you may get an answer for it. Very first card that we have, indecision. I use my intuition in all aspects of life. Oh, let me zoom out, you guys. I'm sorry. I didn't notice that was so zoomed in still. Okay. Then we have abundance. Look at that, like the sun card. It says, I am a limitless being and I can manifest whatever I desire in this physical reality. Exactly. And then we have fear. I realize that I am testing my resolve to live in the energy. To live in the energy of love. Yeah, so fear can talk a lot about the Wheel of Fortune card. Wheel of Fortune can be a very scary card if you are dependent upon kind of staying in one spot. We can't stay in one spot. You know, life is going to move us around. So these cards here are representing the 42 laws of Ma'at, and Ma'at is an Egyptian goddess representing the concept of balance, truth, and peace, harmony. So, you know, back in the day, the Egyptians used to follow all the 42 laws of Ma'at to make sure that their heart stayed light and weightless. So let's go on ahead and check out what laws Ma'at has for you today. Okay. We have, I communicate with compassion. First one that came out. All right. And I am humble. Wow. Okay. Pretty interesting for your pairings here with the Sun, Wheel of Fortune, and Magician. Let's see. Let's go ahead and hear from your star ancestors, your soul star family. Again, you can think of the questions in shuffling. How many cards is that? 3 cards? Yeah, we'll look at them. Sorry, you probably didn't have any time to think of an answer or a question. It just... cards just kind of came out. We have here, water your garden, nourishment, body care, tenderness, and rest. Like we were talking about with the sun card, it's all about that nourishment that you get. Then we have here, you got the love, Hadarian energy, codependency, boundaries. I've never even seen this card in this deck before, so this is interesting. Very interesting card. And then we have fall into my arms, surrender, holding the opposites, extremes of life. Okay. And then let's get a final card here from your angels. And you can think of a question as I'm shuffling. Okay, that came out fast. Again, I'm sorry, you guys. You guys aren't having time to think of a question. So we have take back your power. Archangel Raziel, use your God-given power and intention to manifest blessings in your life. And then we have beloved one, Archangel Chamuel, I'm helping you with your spiritual soulmate relationship. So yes, this is all that I'm seeing for my Sun, Wheel of Fortune, Magician people. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in. I do pray that this reading brought you guys love, support, clarity, and strength. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, amazing spirit, for these messages. Hopefully you all come back to visit sometime soon. But until next time, stay safe, stay blessed, and keep conquering the world. Bye, guys. All right, for my Judgment and High Priestess birth card pair people, welcome to your reading. So basically, yeah, we're just going to start off by talking about exactly what this means. If you have the Judgment and High Priestess as your birth card pair, what this means for you personally. And so if you did not listen to the intro of the video, I highly recommend going back and listening to that. That the way you know exactly how this reading is working, because basically I'm using the spectrum. And this is something that I came up with. So if you're like, what is a spectrum? Definitely check out the intro. But basically, if the High Priestess rules the one end of your spectrum of energy, then on the polar opposite end of that spectrum would be the Judgment card energy. So basically, we're looking at exactly how these two contrasting energies, how you navigate them throughout your life, how you navigate the Judgment energy, how you navigate the High Priestess energy, and what that means for you and your life path, and how this spells out a theme for your life, as well as I'm going to be shuffling some oracle cards for you guys, but I'm not going to be defining them. Basically just going to be pulling them for some, you know, deeper messages, some more specific messages, anything that I may not have touched on that you need to hear right now. So let's go ahead and get started. The Judgment card, as you can see, is the card. This card is ruled by Pluto, and Pluto is the dark goddess that rules death, control, power, influence, manipulation, and the unconscious. And this card shows people standing up from their caskets at the sound of Gabriel blowing the trumpet. And this trumpet is a signal that is said to represent the final call or the final judgment, where souls are to be assessed for their actions throughout their life to find out if they're going to spend eternity in heaven or hell. And as you can see, there's also a massive tidal wave in the back that is basically representing the how this judgment will cover or sweep over every living being, and that no one can escape it, much like death. So judgment is kind of like the second death, and a judgment is all about what did you do with your time, your life, your energy, your choices. What mark did you leave behind? What impact did you leave on the world? What impact did you leave on others? Because we will have to answer for everything that we chose to do. No one escapes karma or judgment, justice, ma'at, or God's eye. Everything must be in balance according to universal law. And what we choose to do with our incarnations, the question that stands is, have they been in accordance with universal balance, or did we make conscious decisions to act against that equilibrium? We pay in life as well as in death. With judgment, there's no more time left. We cannot negotiate or explain or make excuses. We can't say, well, it's because of Joe or Stacy or whatever. There's nothing that can save you when it comes to judgment. That's why it is like, this is the final judgment. There is nothing that we can do about it. So it's kind of like, it's over. The time has come, and whatever we have done up until that point cannot be rewritten. And this is why life is so valuable and important, because it is an opportunity. Every day that we are breathing is an opportunity to make a choice. When judgment comes, that choice is taken from us and something else is deciding our fate. So fate shifts hands and it transfers from our domain to the creator's domain when we're dealing with the Judgment card here. And then the High Priestess. So the High Priestess is the card that is ruled by the moon. She is that small, quiet, intuitive voice that offers us a chance. She's not the angels on our shoulder. She is the angel and devil on our shoulder. And that is why she sits between the pillars of life and death, light and dark, known and unknown. Sorry, you guys, my dog broke into my room while I'm filming. But yeah, the High Priestess is ruled by the moon, and she's that small, quiet, intuitive voice that offers us a choice. She's not the angel on our shoulder. She's the angel and the devil on our shoulder. And that is why she sits in between the pillars of life and death, light and dark, known and unknown, yin and yang, positive and negative. She represents the in-between. She represents us before we choose a side. So it's imperative. So she's basically neutral. She is neutrality before we choose. And so it's imperative that we listen to all sides so we can make the most informed decision. Evil is when we make a conscious decision to go against or to work against divine order and cosmic balance. Evil is something that we choose. It is never by accident. We're never accidentally evil. We're never accidentally an asshole. We never accidentally do something fucked up because we always know better. The universe made sure we'd be our own barometer or moral compass. And that's why the universe made sure that everything was connected. So we know how to treat everything outside of ourselves, which is the way that we'd like to be treated. We know how to treat others because we know how we would like to be treated. And that's how the divine, that's how spirit and God is looking at it, is like, hey, treat others the way that you would like to be treated. I'm going to treat you the way that I want you to treat me. So it's kind of like, God and the universe expects us of that. It expects us to interact with other living beings in the same exact way, with that balance there. The High Priestess is there to check our moral compass, to keep us aware and accountable so that when the day of reckoning comes and we're judged, we can't say we didn't know any better. We can't make excuses. We can't say, well, all I heard was the devil on my shoulder. I didn't even see an angel. We can't say that because they were both present, and so we can't say we didn't know any better. We can't make excuses. This makes it very easy for the universe to make a final judgment as to how to balance our scales. It makes it very easy for the universe to say, you're spending eternity here, you're spending eternity there, this is your karma, or this is whatever it is that the universe decides to do. It makes it very, very, very easy for the universe because the universe is looking at it as like, this was your responsibility. You chose to make these decisions. You knew that there would be consequences and you chose to make these decisions. So it kind of takes the ball out of the universe's court and it puts it in our court, So when that time of the final judgment comes, it's not just as though the universe is judging us. We're being judged by our own mirror reflection. That's exactly what's happening. So the High Priestess gives us the chance to balance our own scales as we move from incarnation to incarnation. That's that little voice that we hear where it's like, should we do this? Should we do that? Maybe we should think about it. Yes, no, maybe. But in case that we do not balance our own scales, in case that we do act out of accordance with our scales. The universe definitely has a plan of contingency called karma, and she sets the scales back to default settings in the case that we don't do it ourselves. So the universe is too intelligent to leave the fate of the universe to the universe. And I'll just let that sink in for you for a moment. But for my High Priestess Judgment card people, it's all about accountability, holding yourself and others around you accountable for their decisions and actions. It's about recognizing everything has a price and not ignoring that price for any reason, because there always comes a time and a moment where we have to pay for our actions, where we have to give an account for them, whether it's a reasonable price or whether it's one that we cannot afford. You may be someone that cuts people off easily or have ended relationships easily, or you may struggle with standing firm in decisions that you make, second guessing yourself all the time. This can range from firm decisions to I don't know what the right choice is, and being stagnant or stuck in everything in between. The point of balance for you is being able to trust yourself to make decisions that you can stand behind with pride, while also consulting your intuition, seeing all sides of a situation or argument, consulting both sides of the shoulder, not just the angel, not just the devil. If you only consult the angel, it can lead you to being drained, feeling deficient because you're giving too much. And if you only consult the devil, it can lead to feeling trapped, getting played or manipulated, and making decisions that you think are right because it's coming from some internal place like your shadow, versus it coming from both higher intelligence and the unconscious. So you may have a lot of anxiety around decision making. Okay, let's go ahead and flip some cards here. So these cards here represent the 42 laws of Ma'at, and Ma'at is an ancient Egyptian goddess or a concept for truth, justice, balance, and harmony. And the ancient Egyptians believed in, following Ma'at's laws, that the way they could keep their hearts light, pure, and get into paradise, get into heaven, basically their heaven. So yeah, we're going to be looking at to what laws it is that Ma'at has for you today. Okay, that came out fast. And so we have I spread joy. This one's been coming out quite a bit, actually. Well, let me zoom out. And then we have here, I benefit with gratitude. So those are the two laws for my Judgment High Priestess people. Let's see. Let's get some cards for your soul journey. Let's hear from your soul, your higher self. You can ask a question as I'm shuffling, and the cards may answer it for you. So let's see what we get. So we have health. I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. And we have perseverance. I know that I can do whatever I set my mind to. Okay. Underneath the deck, we have purpose. I know what I am here to do. Wow, and then underneath that we had judgment. Okay, let's see. Let's shuffle from this deck here to hear from your soul star family, your soul star ancestors, see what they have to say. You can think of a question as I'm shuffling. Okay, we had 3 cards jump out. Very first one that we had is Earth School, Life Lessons, Soul Growth, Study, Higher Learning. Then we have a new earth. It's happening. Keep holding the vision. Ooh, that sounds good. Sounds very good. Then we have We the Hathors, Deep Love, Mother's Milk, Birth as a Portal. Okay. And then we have Lifting the Veil, questioning everything. Anything unaligned must go. Yep. Sounds a lot like Judgment and the High Priestess. And then final card from your angels. You can think of a question again as I'm shuffling. Yeah, I just felt like I needed to keep shuffling. Okay, so the very first 2 that popped out was peace, Archangel Chamuel. And it says, peace comes from remembering that only love is real. Then we had overcoming difficulties, Archangel Jeremiel. The worst is now behind you, and you are surmounting any previous challenges. Wow. That's awesome. Then we have here moon cycles. And it says, Archangel Haniel, notice how the moon affects your energy and manifestations and capitalize upon these cycles. then compassion. And it says, Archangel Zadkiel, soften your heart with respect to the situation and the people involved, including yourself. There must be something going on here where your angels are really working to bring peace to the situation for sure, and overcoming difficulties. Then we have claircognizance. Archangel Uriel, pay attention to your thoughts and ideas that come to you as they are answered prayers. Wow. Okay, so for my Judgment High Priestess people, this is all I'm seeing for you. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, amazing spirit, for these messages. Hopefully you all come back to visit sometime soon. But until next time, stay safe, stay blessed, and keep conquering the world. Bye, guys. All right, the World and Empress birth card pair people, welcome to your reading. So basically the way that this reading is going to go is we're going to be just first covering what this means for you, if this is your birth card pair, what this means for your life, your energy, how this is kind of creating a theme over your life. So if you did not listen to the introduction of this video, I highly recommend doing that. That the way you know how this reading is working, because I'm going to be talking a lot about the spectrum and exactly what that means for you. So it's like basically, we have the World card ruling one polar end of your spectrum, and then we have the Empress ruling the polar opposite end of that spectrum in terms of your energy. And so what we're looking at today is basically how your soul, you have been navigating the dance between both of these contrasting energies, between the World energy and the Empress energy, and what this means for you, as well as I'll be also shuffling some oracle cards. I will not be divining them because I have so many pairs to go through and my battery is dying, but I will be shuffling for some more specific detailed messages for you guys. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So the very first card we're just going to be talking about is the World card here. And so basically the World card is ruled by Saturn and is the final card, number 21 in the Major Arcana Tarot. And the World card has another cameo from those four strange beings that we first sort of saw in the Wheel of Fortune card, but here they look a little bit different. They look a little more natural. So we have the human that we talked about, we have a hawk, a bull, and a lion, and these figures represent the four fixed signs of the zodiac, which is Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, and Aquarius. It's also 555 right now. Let me also say that may be a significant time or number for you. But yeah, so these fixed signs are making a statement that as random and as mysterious and as odd as the universe seems to be, it's all calculated chaos that can shapeshift to look like order or the opposite of order, but it's all a part of a bigger plan. And it's a plan that we in our highest and greatest good have been factored into. And there's also what appears to be a woman in this card, but I've heard many people debate whether this is a woman or a man or both or genderless. And so the fact that this card is ruled by Saturn, a planet that is not widely considered any one gender, the Saturn is not considered necessarily male or female. Very many astrologers, they kind of see Saturn as like somewhere in between or somewhere outside of gender entirely. So it's okay to see astrology how you see it. Me personally, I see Saturn as more so masculine energy because I am a Capricorn rising, and he's usually kicking my ass all the time. But yeah, there's a strange energy to Saturn as well, though, for me personally, that doesn't feel defined. So I get why some say Saturn does not have a gender. In the World card, the woman in the center is holding two double-ended candles, and that we first saw in the Magician card. And these double-ended candles represent polarizing opposites and everything in between. It represents the plus and minus, creation, destruction, life, death, light, dark, attraction, and repulsion, and how these opposing sides work together towards the same cause or goal. Like I say all the time, I've been saying since the start of my channel that darkness is not evil. Darkness serves the same purpose as the light. These are two polar opposites sides working together for the same purpose. The World card represents absolute interconnectedness, how all things affect all things and how everything is working together towards one goal, one purpose, one direction. Our actions affect others and ourselves. So working in alignment is always our best bet, as alignment is our ally. Anytime we are working out of alignment, we are essentially working against ourself and the universe. And it's not a good idea to go against the universe. The universe is never going to lose. So, it also represents, the World card also represents autonomy, the right to decide or choose how to live your life, how to express yourself, and what you will do with the life that the Creator has granted you. Now, the Empress is the card and is the third card in tarot, and she is ruled by Venus, the divine feminine, as well as the Empress rules all of the three cards in tarot. So she can represent the mother and the maiden, as she is pregnant in this card. So this is the divine feminine at her most attractive. This is when she becomes fertility itself, much like Astara, the Empress card reminds me of. Venus rules Taurus as well. Taurus season is around springtime, but you know, for sure that's what she reminds me of. So the Empress is all about chemistry, attraction, charm, sensuality, pleasure, abundance, excess, because she is creation. That is her essence, is to be this receptacle of life. So like in the World card, how we talked about how the world represents autonomy, the right to choose how to live your life. Well, the Empress provides that life that you are wondering what to do with, you know, or what to make of it. The world represents the completion of that life that was created with the Empress, and how that gift of life is not ours to keep forever, but must be given back to the Creator at some point. So for my Empress World card people, there will be a theme of creation and detachment, accepting these cosmic gifts and then having to give them back, as well as making a decision to invoke that cycle over and over and over again, to create something and then to let it go or to share it. So this is my creatives pile for sure, where many of you guys are some sort of artists, even if it's like having to do with science or technology or the medical field, whatever it is. You guys are very, very creative, having the Empress card here. So yeah, for sure. There's a major lesson as well of providing something to someone else and allowing them to be able to make their own choices and decisions as to what to do with their gift. So there's a lot of providing and releasing. There's a lot of, you know, maybe giving advice and then allowing people to do what they will with it. But as well as there's a lot of boundaries that have to be learned when it comes to the world and the Empress pair here, because this can be very giving energy, but the world can be quite closed off as well. Even though she represents interconnectedness, she does know how to sort of insulate herself if she has to. As you can see, she's sort of like encapsulated by this wreath here. So she does know how to kind of insulate herself. The Empress is more so kind of, you know, very open. Whatever it is she attracts. But that doesn't mean that you just have to attract whatever it is that comes into your vicinity. The Empress is very much in control of what it is that she attracts. She only attracts what she wants. She only attracts what's going to add to her vitality, what's going to add to her creative juices. So basically, make sure that you are doing everything with intention. That is very, very, very important for my Empress World card people. It's important for everyone, but especially my Empress World card people, because you guys are able to attract so easily and so much. You want to make sure that you do everything with intention, that the way that you talk is what it is that you want to manifest. Imagine as you talk, everything it is that you say is coming to fruition. Imagine it like that. Imagine that everything you do is going to eventually come to fruition. Make sure that you are doing everything with some sort of intention, okay? So let's go ahead and shuffle some oracle cards. Like I said, I won't be divining these. So these cards here are representations of the 42 laws of Ma'at. And so basically Ma'at was an Egyptian goddess. She was a concept of truth, order, harmony, justice, and yeah, basically karma. So yeah, we're going to be looking at her laws today, what laws it is that she has for you, because the Egyptians used to follow the laws of Ma'at, that the way they could keep their hearts pure and weightless. So let's see what Ma'at has for you as a law today. Look at that. What was I just talking about? Make sure that when you are speaking, you're speaking with intention. We have, I converse with awareness. You guys see that? That's too many cards. And then we have, I am peaceful. And again, I speak with good intent. Yeah. My battery is dying, you guys. I'm gonna try to hurry up and get through these. Okay, let's see. Let's shuffle from your soul purpose deck. Hear from your soul and your higher self. See what needs to be said. So we have here freedom. And it says, I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. Yeah, exactly. Like I was saying, watch what you say, because you're just like a creative source of energy. Oh wait, something flipped over. Then we have perseverance. I know that I can do whatever I set my mind to. Yep. And let's see, let's get a card from your soul star family, your soul star ancestors. See what they have to say. You can think of a question as I'm shuffling too. See what we get. So we have forge, don't follow, pave a new path, be the leader that you wish you had. And then we have you've got the love, Hadarian energy, codependency, boundaries. Wow. Okay, like I was talking about earlier with boundaries. And then we have I remember soul plan, the fated life versus the destiny life. Very interesting. I'm trying to rush through this because my camera is dying. And then let's get one more card from your angels. You can think of a question as I'm shuffling First card, you know what to do. Archangel Uriel, trust your inner knowledge and act upon it without delay. Okay. Wow. Okay. And then we have, you are safe. Archangel Michael, I'm protecting you against lower energies and guarding you, your loved ones, and home, and overcoming difficulties. Archangel Jeremiel, the worst is now behind you and you are surmounting any previous challenges. That's amazing. Okay. So this is all that I have for my World card, Empress card, birth card pair people. I don't know what to call this, but yeah, thank you guys so very much for tuning in. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, amazing spirit, for these messages. Hopefully you all come back to visit sometime soon, but until next time, you guys stay safe, stay blessed, and keep conquering the world. Bye guys.